It's doing something.
We're here.
There's probably going to be a lag. I'm just going to make sure, like, go over to the YouTube page and make sure we show up and actually something is actually happening. But it's the only thing about these is like I wish that there could be a good intro, but I'm not that professional yet. So it's all just like, let's wait for a minute and see if the stream is working.
We don't need
Yeah,
it.
there we go. It's working. All right. So hey, we're live. Holy shit, man! I don't even know what to do now.
I got some helium tanks. I've got some balloons. Got us covered.
Awesome. So we have so right now, Grunge Metal HD says yo, and
Settle down. Settle
and
down.
yeah, yeah, and so at least we have him. I'm assuming it's a him. Judging by his photo, he's Lane Staley. So who knows.
Now my parents will probably be watching soon too. I insisted that they watch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nicholas Fisher. Hey, what's up?
I'm a big fan.
Metal
Nicholas Fisher.
Theologian.
He's
Metal
here.
Theologian is in the house. I was just starting to heckle Chromie D over his tardiness.
Bullshit.
Man, I don't. That's like I feel like. See, you've already brought a high class of viewer to this show with Metal Theologian.
My entourage. Eric is in the back. We got the Grown Man Record Night. They're holding my fur coat right now.
Nice.
So it's,
I guess I'll do a little intro for everyone. Welcome to the 10,000 subscriber Thanksgiving special. I say Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving just happened over here in America, but it happened like a month ago in Canada.
We don't talk about it. I'm renouncing Canadian Thanksgiving, and I'm not even pandering to you. I'm just going to start embracing this U.S. Thanksgiving, which for years I called fake Thanksgiving.
Well, I mean, U.S. Thanksgiving is pretty stupid. Like originally we're celebrating lies that we were told as children, and so I have actually repurposed Thanksgiving like many people have. And it's just all about being thankful for the things that you have in your life. It has nothing about the history of our country because then you got to start nitpicking at like, well, what really happened? And then it's not fun anymore. It's not a fun
Yeah, but you have to understand that Canadian Thanksgiving, what they teach us is the real thing. Like our ancestors came over from Ireland and England, and we did have a turkey with the the natives, and it was fantastic. We all became friends. Lots of pumpkin pie. It was beautiful.
I see. You could tell me whatever you wanted, and I would believe it. Is that absolutely true? Did we steal your Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we invented it. Like you guys weren't even thankful at all until we got along with the natives, and and then you guys had to corrupt it some way and market it, and it was just like getting ready for Black Friday. That's what you guys had planned all along.
To be fair, if in America, some cool things have happened in America, but a whole lot of shitty things and a whole lot of us repurposing cool things and making them shitty has happened in America. So it is what it is, I guess. But
if there's any Canadians, I bet you if there's some Canadians, they're like bullshit. Like we had some dark past too. Let me tell you, I'm from Newfoundland. We've had some dark history.
We're having a dark present, sir. Okay. Anyway, so yes, we're celebrating. We're giving thanks to 10,000 subscribers, and luckily, the BBQutioner, or I mean, come on, he doesn't have the hat on. We'll call. You know what? At this point, I feel like I could consider us friends, right? We're friends.
Old school. Like you were the first one I reached out to.
Sweet. So. What do your friends call you in real life? They call you Phil? Like what is your?
Okay, let's get one thing straight here right now. You can call me Phil. You can call me Flip. It doesn't matter. But if my mother is watching this right now, or if you call my house and you ask for Phil, you're in for it, man.
Does she prefer Philip?
Oh, please. She's like, I didn't name you after a used car salesman.
That's great.
And when I get my friends, I'm like, call, ask for Phil, call, because it was a joke, a running gag. And she's like, I'm sorry, there is no Phil here, but I do believe you might be looking for Philip, or Philip Anthony, which is
I'm gonna start calling you Philip Phil, like from the Muppets Take Manhattan,
Oh,
and that way I can.
Okay.
You remember when he loses his memory
Of
and he
course.
goes to work at an ad agency? He's Philip Phil, catchy name.
Which was my life for a while, right? But yeah, I could talk about Muppets Take Manhattan and the Great Muppet Caper for like all night if you want.
And the Muppet movie. The Muppet movie is one of my favorite movies ever made. Like even as an adult.
You know, I come across as a pretty tough guy. You can see it. You know that I'm a bad dude, right?
Yeah.
You can see it in my eyes.
Yeah.
There's one thing that makes me cry, and that's Kermit the Frog in the opening scene in the Muppet movie singing Rainbow Connection. I can't listen to it.
Do you know what makes me cry though? This is interesting. Now we're already being really deep here. Mm-hmm. So fast forward all the way to the end of the movie. The thing that makes me cry is when he does the "Life's like a movie, write your own." That part every time the tear, I'm welling up. I don't know what it is about that movie. Maybe it's. I mean, obviously it's connected to our childhood, but then you get older, and I guess maybe there's a part of me that just I'm so happy that the movie still holds up as a fun, entertaining, cool movie. So it just makes me happy. Anyway, giving thanks to the Muppets.
Without the Muppets, I don't think that my show would even exist.
So this a meta theologian says that Rainbow Connection makes him cry, but so do the Ronettes. Honestly, the Ronettes, that song "Be My Baby" is one of my favorite songs ever written. Like it's
oh my god, it's amazing,
insanely good. I'm trying to keep up with the chat because there are people here, and I'm trying to do that thing where I highlight some cool things.
Look, you do what you got to do. I'm just your Ed McMahon tonight. Like I am just small fry.
So Tom Thurston is trying to start shit here with his comment. Okay, enough niceties. Let's debate the awesomeness of Kurith Ungol because I believe he knows that I do not care for that band, and so we will get into it.
For one thing, right off the bat, Kurith Ungol, Cirith Ungol, the battle rages on. Like,
is it Cirith or Kirith? I mean, what does it even fucking mean?
I don't think we're ready for this tonight. You're not ready for this. I'm not ready for
this.
We're
supposed to be giving thanks.
We are. I'm giving thanks. Listen, you and I. Well, so you call the Kirith, right? You're right. That's originally what it's supposed to be. But I feel like French sevens with a line through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I say Kirith Ungol, I feel like I'm the guy that does the line through his sevens.
Oh.
It feels highfalutin. It feels pompous.
So do you say Celtic Frost or Celtic Frost? Because I've heard both. I know it's Celtic Frost, but I think over here we say Celtic Frost.
Yeah, I grew up calling it Celtic Frost. But we know damn well it's Celtic Frost. We know that it is Kirith Ungol. But if you call and say, I want to put money down on the Boston Celtics, you're going to get your ass laughed out of the world.
And we both know that Cold Lake is actually a good album. So let's,
I adore it. Listen, downtown Hanoi, I want to make it my ringtone. I absolutely love that song.
Do you know what's so funny about albums like Cold Lake is like I like it and I'm always like, oh man, I'd like to have that one on vinyl. But it's always the albums that everyone shits on that you go to Discogs and they're like $900. And I'm like, I thought this album sucked. Why does everybody want it?
Why do people shit on that one so much and Vanity Nemesis gets a pass?
I mean, at this point, I don't know why anybody shits on anything because it's like, sure, they decided to do something. Some people didn't like it. You move on. Are you a fan or not? Whatever. It doesn't matter. I guess I'm a little bit too... That's why I'm not really a real metalhead, because I'm too lax. I'm just sort of like, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Well, let me tell you something. 10,000, all right? That pisses me off. I'm going to tell you right now, because I'm like goddamn funkadelic. I'm getting in costumes. I'm building sets. I'm doing a whole whoopity-doo. And you show up like goddamn Run DMC in your sneakers and a tracksuit. And the world fucking loves you. Hey,
don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. This has been three years of me doing this that led me to 10,000 subscribers. Your YouTube channel is newer. But I am going to agree with you that you should have surpassed me within your first month or two. Like, that is a fucking crime, in my opinion.
You have to understand that we're pretty niche, and we're kind of silly. And you know the way, and I'm not shitting on headbangers, metalheads, but you know what we're like.
Yeah.
And my show is, it's a little Pee-wee's Playhouse. I get that. You know what I mean? And some people, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've never said this to you before, but I've always been meaning to say it. When I first started watching your stuff, the thing that it made me think about all the time was there was a weird, like, independent film group that made these short things back in like the 70s and 80s. One of them was Hardware Wars.
Okay.
And like, do you know what I'm talking about? That's
I do.
They were like 10-minute movies.
Yeah.
Well, but they did a whole bunch of different ones. They did a Close Encounters spoof. They did a Apocalypse Now spoof. But there's this odd quirkiness to it that, like, and the way that, like, because you do like the overdubbed like voices, and they did that too.
Sure.
And just like, there's so many vibes that I go, I wonder if he's seen Hardware Wars before.
Of course I have. But there are a lot of times people are saying, like, this show is weird and I don't really get what you're doing, but I find myself watching it and, you know, I'm laughing along with it, or I'm like saying this is completely stupid. What brought this on? Besides the magazine, you know what I mean? And there was two things. I always have this as a reminder. It's in this office and the set. And this is something for my Canadians, because I don't think you in America got this, was a show called The Hilarious House of Frightenstein.
We didn't, at least not that I remember.
It's from the 70s, and I think you really should check it out. But this guy, Billy Van, this was filmed in Hamilton, Ontario. This guy, it had Vincent Price on, and he would narrate the whole thing. It was filmed in like 11 days or something. But he played multitudes of characters. And it was a children's show, but it was absolutely wacky and insane. And they had this physics professor on, and it was nuts. It didn't make any sense to me as a child, but I adored it so much. It was this. And there was another, and I always keep this handy too. Hold on. This is the vibe of this show. I wanted to have Hilarious House of Frightenstein and this cover.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see this? The boys hanging out, being just dudes, just not taking it very seriously, but we'll rip your head off if need be. That's the mission statement here. It's Exodus and Hilarious House of Frightenstein. Awesome. And Pee Wee Herman too.
Marty Worm got it right. Fuck that. Chromium Dioxide is the best on YouTube. To hell with the rest. Except for me, Marty. Holy fuck, man.
Marty? I just sent Marty a lot of money just to say that.
And then we've got Water Dive 122 Productions. I'm here for the legendary old head himself. Thank you very much. I don't know. That's weird hearing that. But however, this is my first time seeing the BBQutioner. So you need to go subscribe to Chromium Dioxide because you will thank me. I have never pointed anyone over to that channel and they've come back and go, what the fuck is this? They're all like, holy shit, my new favorite channel.
I have.
So
my subscriber list is like, and then I get on people's nerves, or I'll say, well, actually not me. It's never me. It's Castillo or one of the characters will say something that really rubs someone the wrong way. And then I'm going to get you
get away with it. You're like the Canadian Jeff Dunham. You get away with saying awful things because it's the puppets.
It's the puppets. Jeff, I've never been compared to that before, but thank you. I'd like to have his couch.
No, fuck that guy. I was being facetious. But anyway, I brought records too. I have a few because I was like, we'll give thanks to some albums. And I actually grabbed, because you were going to be on here, I grabbed a few from your neck of the woods to give thanks to the music that came from the world that birthed you. But first, before I do that, just really quickly,
if you say a sponsor, I'm going to throw up. If you're like, but first let's go to our sponsor, because I'm gone.
First, we have these wallets that are just like a little card, and you do shit with them. Yeah, it's okay. What if it was for like a beer? By the way, I'm drinking local beer. It's a Karbach Pilsner made right here in Houston, Texas. It's pretty good. This is my first time having their basic ass Pilsner, but you know, whatever.
Can I just just for before you go on with your thanks and honoring Canada, which I'm absolutely floored and honored. Were you born in Texas?
Yeah, I was born in Austin, Texas, and I never felt comfortable there. And then moved to Houston about a year and a half ago because my wife's family is from Houston, and I feel way more at home here than I ever did in Austin. Because Austin's a weird city because like people say like, the live music capital of the world, but it was mostly shitty music, like 85% shitty music. And I was the kid that when I was playing in bands in my prime of like actually trying to go out and make it and play all over the city, the kind of music I was making wasn't metal because nobody was doing metal in Austin. But the music that I was wanting to make was like Fugazi. I wanted to be in a band like Fugazi. And so that's the kind of shit that I would constantly try to do. And then as I went on, it got heavier and heavier. But anyway, I moved to Houston, and Houston is like this big ass melting pot of so many different kinds of people. And I'm all like, I feel way more comfortable here because it's not just 10 different types of white dude around every corner. Like it's, it's a lot of different types of people. And it feels, I'm a city boy because obviously I've lived in cities, but Houston just feels, I don't know. I feel way more connected to it. And I've lived here a year and a half. I lived in Austin for almost 42 years and never connected with that place. So
I'm really disappointed that you don't have that stereotypical twang.
Well, me and Eddie Sparks actually came to a conclusion about why I don't have an accent and why for people over in England, they can't really tell where he's from. And it's because as a young person, I was really obsessed with British television and music. Because obviously, I'm sure it was the same thing over there in Canada where a lot of the music that you would consider 80s music, so much of it came from the UK.
Right.
And then television, because of my older brother, I grew up watching Monty Python, The Young Ones, Doctor Who, Fawlty Towers, all of this shit, and British movies as well. He was the same way, only he was obsessed with American culture, and he grew up on all of that shit. And so, because everyone else in my family has kind of a twang in their voice. And I was like, from an early age, I was like, fuck you. I'm not going to sound like a fucking simpleton.
I just thought that maybe you probably would have to put up some subtitles for some of your viewers with me, because I do have a Hoser accent.
What are you talking about?
That's something that burns my ass. Let me tell you, because that shit is Ontario and like BC. Us guys is no. You'll hear it with us with the ARs. I've talked about this on other shows, and I'm like, bar, car. It's really hard. And as I indulge a little more, woo!
Oh yeah. What's your glass? What's the glass we got there?
Ric Flair, baby.
Oh, okay. I'm not a wrestling fan, so that's one way that we don't really connect. But we can't connect on everything. Otherwise, we just leave our wives for each other, and then.
Well, I'm just worried. Does Eddie know you're doing this tonight?
He does. I invited him, but it's 1 a.m. right now where he lives. So I sent him the link and I said, "Dude, if you can make it at 1 a.m, then here's the link."
I love that you mentioned Fugazi earlier too, because this made me laugh. It's like this is why you're the Metallica. And I can't even call myself the Megadeth, even though I would love to. I'm more of the Malaya Rage to your Metallica, right?
All right.
But like you were into those bands, and for me, if there was ever a band that summed up the vibe as well, it would be like Mania. That's me. That's me right there. That's how I think that we should all be.
Don't know if I've heard this band.
Well, just look at the cover. This is German.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I mean, look at the wink. He gets it. He's in on it.
Yeah, that's the thing is that if we lived near each other and I came over to your place, I would annoy you because it would just be like I just want to grab weird looking records I've never heard and play them all night long. I'm like, no, we don't have to eat dinner. Let's just
eat chips.
Because I have a lot. I mean, I have a lot of records, and I have some stuff that I guess some people would consider obscure. But you have these records that they look awesome in a really bad way, if that makes any
Sure.
sense. Where I know
like
that
that
I'm
with
going to
movies,
love
too.
how poor. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of how I am too. Anyway, let's hold on. What I wanted to do real quick, because yesterday, for the very first time ever, I actually went to Record Store Day. I had never been to Record Store Day before. Usually, don't even care to go. But there were two things I wanted, so I'm just going to show them off real quick because that's what I do. I got this guy right here. This is the very first known recording of Aerosmith from 1971. Such a mystery that the band themselves don't know where it was recorded. They know who recorded it and what recording device was used. It's almost like a demo quality, but it's got some early songs that would end up on their first album and a couple covers and shit like that. But it is like, this is a cool little package, and that's the one reason why I went, was to get, because I'm a huge Aerosmith fan.
I'm a huge Aerosmith fan too. What's your favorite?
Honestly, that's really tough because I enjoy Draw the Line a lot. But let me ruin it for you. I also think that Get a Grip is a pretty damn good album, and I will throw that one on for my later day Aerosmith vibes,
Sure.
because it's got a lot of strong songs on it. But I love all of their albums.
It was the last one I got. Was Get a Grip, and I love it too. Yeah, but Draw the Line, and I really like Toys in the Attic, of course.
In Rocks, yeah. I mean, those are kind of givens. Oh, but is it
Night in the Ruts?
Night in the Ruts does that one have Chiquita on it? Because Chiquita fucking rules, that song. The riff of that song is like so good.
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Anyway, Chiquita's a great song. Look it up, and you'll know what I'm talking about when the riff kicks in. It has a Draw the Line style riff. It has that sort of it almost seems like they tuned down to D, like they were way ahead of all these other bands and playing that kind of riff. Anyway, the second thing I got was a reissue of this King's X album.
Cool.
Please Come Home, Mr. Bulbous. And so I was very happy to get this because I'm a huge King's X fan. Band that started here in Houston, Texas. Or they didn't start here. They moved here and recorded a lot of their classic albums in Houston. But anyway, so without further ado,
here we go.
Canada. So I want to give thanks to some albums. Do you have some that you brought along that you want to give thanks to also, or?
Listen, you son of a mother! You said we were just going to wing this tonight, man. I was like,
I told you that I brought some albums, but that was it, and we'll see where it takes us.
Well, I'll tell you where it takes us. Listen, I can whip out a few. Let me tell you, I got them all here, so there's tons.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for all these bastards.
I just grabbed the ones that were speaking to me right now. But for Canada, let's start off with Universe by Dead Brain Cells, which is fucking... I love this band, but I also love the fact that they gave us 2 albums with slightly different vibes.
Yeah.
And, but I love them both for those reasons. This is their way more, hey, we're going to be proggy now. And I remember like seeing an interview with them where they were all like, when we made this album, we had to like write down music and notes and stuff. I'm all like, oh, you're fancy. You had to write down musical notes and things like that. I've never been in a band like that. I'm not traditionally trained to play music, so I've been in bands and I barely even know notes. So I'm just like, hey, you see where my fingers are on the guitar? That's where you put them in this part of the song. That's why I was probably very annoying because I was always the primary songwriter in every band that I was in. But I would always just be like, just chug on E right there for a little bit. Yeah. That's it.
I was forced into piano at gunpoint at a young age and had 7 years of Royal Conservatory piano. So I mean, I can read music easily. You know what I mean? I'm not the greatest of piano players, but I want to play guitar. But my mother was like, no, you're going to thank me someday. You know, you're going to love piano. And I don't. But I think that maybe is why I like AOR so much, because I do love them icy keys.
Oh, yeah? So you never played in any bands or anything?
Oh yes, I played, but they were mostly I would always be thrown out usually in about a month because I would make a mockery out of everything.
Yeah.
I was like a front man, but I was mostly a comedian. Mostly a jackass or a class clown. That's probably a better version. I never really took things like the songs I would write were just absurd. Like, it's concerning, Baphomet.
I'm gonna steal that.
9,000 earwigs, baby tonight. That was another one I wrote was sterile, lustful, and vexed. Like, what the fuck is that?
What? Yeah. I feel like I need to borrow these for my future projects.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why they would throw me out, because I was just a clown. Right.
I'm trying to I keep forgetting that there are people here.
I know. I can't see
metal theologian. I like Aerosmith, but I still can't get behind shooting them into space.
Oh shit! I've got all these. I can read these now too. Oh, we are behind. Yeah. We are bad. You're a bad host. I brought hors d'oeuvres.
Do you have the ability to click on them and make them appear if you want to?
Yeah, I just did that time. I didn't even see it. Hey everyone, I'm sorry. I brought some nerds.
Awesome.
So I'll share them with you guys.
So back to Canada.
Sure.
Now as soon as the words albums from Canada came out of my mouth, you knew this band was coming up. And I couldn't decide which album I wanted to bring.
10 right now.
No, there's one. There's one.
It's Rush. It's Rush.
Yeah. But I couldn't decide which one I wanted. So this one I brought because a couple nights ago, like I was watching the Rush Chronicles VHS that I have, just because I'm like, oh, it's got all their videos up to a point. I'll watch that. And like every time a song from this album would come up, I'd just be like, these are like the best songs ever written in the history of music. And they're all on this album. But
it's a great album.
But I really like this album a lot.
Controversial.
I love it. Dreamline, Roll the Bones. It's got Ghost of a Chance. Ghost of a Chance is a beautiful song. Man, come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I love all Rush. There's no bad Rush album. And I think getting older helps with that, because now when I hear Time Stands Still, I'm all like, oh, this I hear what he's saying in this song. It means something to me now that I'm an old fuck.
I love that mid 80s Rush as well. Like that, like people shit on that all the time. Man, I have no problem. Hold Your Fire, no problems with it whatsoever.
The best bands, in my opinion, I've said this a million times, are the ones that have an interesting story with their albums and their progression. If Rush had just done the same shit from the 70s all the way up until the 2000s, just varying, forms of it, it would have been boring. And Absolutely. So I love them.
We're probably let's go. Here.
Why? Because of Rush?
Oh yeah. Oh look, Triumph over Rush for the jumpsuits alone. Now, On Top Rob is a Canadian as well, so
I also have to admit I don't know a lot of Triumph. I feel like that's a band I'll get into. I actually need to watch that documentary that came out about them, because
I haven't seen it.
Anytime Banger does a documentary, it's always really fucking good. So,
they're amazing.
I gotta give them.
Do you know that I own the Moon Records? Do you know I own the original Moon Records from Rush, their debut? Yeah,
I have one, but it's the debut, but it's still a 70, what was it, 73, 74? 74. But it's not a first.
Well, this is not even. This is their own private press label, like Moon Records, and I got it for like secondhand in a store. It was dirt cheap. It's probably one of my more expensive records. We got to nerd out about Rush someday, and I feel that I don't know if this crowd is ready for it.
We can, any time really, but I'm not like a super nerd Rush person, because I see a lot of people talking about Rush and they get really into time signatures and what lyrics are all about, and I'm like, I appreciate a lot of Neil Peart's lyrics, And of course, I appreciate all of the proggy shit that they did and how great they, the way that they could take something that's essentially an odd time signature, but the way that the song flows, you don't even notice that it's an odd time signature. But you get to, it's like how I am with another reason why I was a shitty band member. I've never given two shits about amps or guitars, or even now that like I have a basic vinyl setup. And I see these people spending all this money on amplifiers and all this shit. And I'm like, why? Didn't you already have a record player that played the shit good enough? I mean, back in the day, you bought a record player and some speakers that you hung on your wall, and that was it. That was all she wrote.
I'm not that guy either. I am not that guy either. I don't give a shit. I'm more about like building the collection and building an interesting collection. It's much more about that. And I'm not a guy that's like, the corners have to be perfect. You know, I do get pissed when Amazon fucks me.
Yeah.
That shit pisses me off because,
I take the shrink wrap right off my new shit. I don't give a fuck that there's a hype sticker on it. I literally had people, when I did that big ass Metallica Black Album box unboxing, people were leaving comments saying, how could you take the wrapping off of it? I'm never opening mine. I'm all like, you spent $300 on something that you're just going to look at the shiny outside? I'm like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. But to each their own, I guess.
They're wrong. No, they're wrong.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad you're here. Let's keep the Canada love going. With I'm gonna get a little more modern.
We got that. Okay.
Propaganda.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I chose their most recent album because I want to point out that this band is still doing such good shit. Like every album they put out is fucking killer. And I have a lot of like love for them because their first album came out when I was in high school, and it was very like snotty, sort of like we're political, fuck you kind of shit going on, and I loved it. But you listen to it now and it's kind of cute. But they just
Canadian Bad Religion they wrote down.
I'll throw it out that I think they're better than Bad Religion, but I'm a Bad Religion fan as well.
Man, you have no idea. When you brought up propaganda, it really gave me bad memories of being that white. I can't get my glasses straight. It's really freaking me out. Being that white trash kid at the bus stop, and people were starting to get into that kind of music, and I was like, I had like Exciter and Helix shirts.
Yeah,
this is like 94, 95. So like you're.
I probably would have made fun of you too in 94.
Oh yeah. And I had like fringe leather because I love Dave Mustaine. I was trying to make little rattleheads, like the So Far So Good So What jacket.
And in 94, he was wearing flannels.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't. You have to understand, man. Like when the Megadeth logo turned silver, I was out. It's like bad omens, man. Bad omens. Right, so. I
don't know. Now that I think about it, because there was nobody like that in my high school. If I had met you, I probably would have been like, "This dude's fucking weird. I got to be his friend."
Oh yeah, no, I was white. I was the guy who always had like the Dungeons and Dragons monster manual. I was never a nerd, even though I was. People liked me because I was a clown. But I was very self-aware. But man, I love that shit, and I love Dave Mustaine.
Hold on, Water Dive 122. Who is Propaganda? Propaganda they're essentially a punk band, but they're way more technical, and they've become more metallic over the years. But they're very political, and some of their shit's actually pretty emotional. Like they've got some pretty deep songs. But they, if you like riffs, they're good for that shit. I wouldn't call them metal, but they have metal-ish qualities in them. Let me wrap up the Canada love real quick. I don't know if you know this band.
Rob is from New York. I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. He's going to be furious.
Oh, here we go.
With me. Yeah.
Well, I think all of us will gladly escape to Canada at this point. They won't let us in.
I don't know about that. Anyways, let's go. Let's go more Canada love, please.
One more. I don't know if you know this band, but I absolutely love this band and this album. Bison from Canada. I don't know if you know them.
I don't know them at all.
They are if you could categorize them as sludgy metal kind of stuff. This particular album, Lovelessness, is like their best in my opinion, and it's like a doomy, sludgy album. And I use those terms. Those terms are coming from a person that if somebody says, "Hey, I'm in a band and we're kind of doomy and sludgy," I'd be like, "Fuck off! I don't want to hear your band." But this is like it's very riffy. But this particular album was written after like the band members had experienced like, a lot of death around them, and so it's almost like the most depressing sludge album you'll ever hear. but it's so fucking great. But they're still kicking it over there too, and they were signed to Metal Blade and had to change their name to Bison BC because they're from British Columbia.
Just like Sacrilege, British Columbia.
Yeah. And but then they got dropped from Metal Blade because they didn't sell enough albums, and then they just went back to being Bison. But they're real. They got a lot. They got some groove. They've got some doom and some sludge, and it's just like a big, heavy, noisy fuck off kind of band, and they're great. But that's that's my Canada love.
Well, thank you very much. But do you know what the greatest Canadian heavy metal song ever written was? Guys, take notes. Write this down. Exciter. Okay, it's Exciter. Okay. Evil Sinner. I think it might be my favorite song of all time. Of all,
to me, name a song by Exciter that I go, I don't know if I even know that song.
To me, it is what heavy metal, if I was in charge, would forever sound like. It would never change. It's that this high pitched screams, these banshee wails, and it's just singing about like demonic women. This demonic woman who's like destroying it's just that's what I'm into, man. I love that stuff.
All right,
but I'll check out Bison.
Do it, especially Lovelessness. Do it. It's great. Human Falafel, I guess, voted for Alice in Hell. I think that's a little bit basic.
Well, let me tell you, you never checked
them out song,
after,
though.
Did you? You never remember when we did our thrash show? You weren't sold on Annihilator. I've back.
No, I've heard their first two albums, and I like things about their first two albums. But like seriously, every time, like I do, like I'm constantly listening to music in some way or another, and so things will pop up, and I'll just run over to Apple Music and be like, I'm gonna listen to some of this, and so I constantly go back and listen to tracks by bands like Annihilator. And I'm always waiting for that thing to click where I go, oh, this is cool. And with them, it's like, I can't say that they're bad at all, but it's like there's something missing from the stew of what they do, I guess, that just, it doesn't quite catch me. But I also like, I'm so weird with the music that I listen to because like, I like the things that I like, and people would think because I'm into thrash metal that I like every kind of thrash metal, and I'm like, well, no, that's not true. There's a whole lot of thrash metal that really annoys me, and same thing goes with like because I'm a big hip hop fan, and you take anything hip hop related up until about 91, 92. And I'm fully on board. But people are like, there's this new artist now that he sounds kind of like he's from the 80s. I'm like, well, no, it doesn't. I don't want to hear that. If I want to hear some old school hip hop, I'm going to go listen to there's so much shit from back in the day, even in the world of thrash, that I don't need any new things because there's so many old things that even I haven't discovered yet. So
hold on one
Annihilators.
Second. Metal Theologian, you shut up. You shut up with your stupid ass face.
He says Annihilator is a C-. Okay.
Stupid, you asshole. No, listen.
J plus Voivod. That's some. I mean, who doesn't like Voivod? I've never met anybody that doesn't like Voivod.
Oh no, God! I mean, please, you'd lose your license. But no, I understand with Annihilator. I love the first. I'm with Eddie too. I couldn't believe Eddie pulled that on his top 5. unbelievable. I wanted to just read through the screen and pinch.
He pulled a Cold Lake, didn't he? Isn't that one of the things that he did?
Yeah, he pulled it. No, he went beyond Cold Lake, because I can tell you, man, the first time I put that into my Walkman, I almost fainted, because there was no burns like a buzzsaw blade on that one. It was like, and we fly into the sky like a phoenix rising. It's like, oh Jesus!
But apparently it's grown on you now, right? Like you're cool with it now.
I've got the T-shirt and everything. Yeah. I'm a little bit more progressive.
I think that's a good quality. The only, for some reason, the album that comes to mind where I had that kind of reaction, but then later thought I was an idiot, was there's a German death metal band called Morgoth, and they released an album called Feel Sorry for the Fanatic in the 90s. And I bought it the day it came out because I was a huge fan of the album Odium. It's like one of my favorite albums. And I put it on, and it was like almost like alternative music, like heavy alternative. But I remember being like, they fucking sold out. And then, flash forward to like 20 years later, and I listen to that album, I'm like, this is insanely good. Like, what was my problem? I was a complete dick. But, I grew out of it.
Marty is talking about Razor. Now, I've never heard you talk about Razor either.
Yeah, Razor and Exciter. These are all bands that I think they fall more in the. Well, I guess Razor's thrash, but Exciter would be more speed metal, right? Wouldn't that?
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah,
but Razor has that metal one. What's the album with the chainsaw on the cover from Razor?
Malicious Intent.
That one's fucking great.
Well, no.
That is.
Well, no, that's the buzzsaw. Excuse me. That's
whatever. It's a silver cover.
Yeah. The
Violent Retribution. Why does that come to mind? Is that it?
Restitution, isn't it? Yeah, Violent Restitution.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's violent something. But yeah, that's
anyway. the first two Razors, man. Yeah, Violent Restitution. I was going to say Retribution. It's something. Yeah, did you? Is that what you said?
Whatever it is, it's violent.
It's violent.
Speaking of that, keeping our giving thanks. I wanted to give thanks to basic ass thrash because I love thrash so much so that bands that put out albums that like most people would go, they were just another thrash band at the time. So I'm going to give love to a couple of those. Nice. Gothic Slam, Face in the Crowd.
I need that one.
Just a Face in the Crowd. I think this album is great, but it is very basic when it comes to thrash. But I love it. And then the other one I brought with me to give thanks to is Slaughterhouse, Face Reality.
That cover is brilliant.
Yeah, it really is. I like their picture on the back. I don't know why. It's like they're sitting at a diner, just like,
Yeah, it's like if you compare it to like Sound of White Noise's diner scene, like who do you want to hang out with more? I'm going
actually
with
probably I would actually go with these guys too. As much as I love Anthrax, I don't know.
They seem very cool. Pompous, like they weren't making eye contact with the cameras or like looking away, but these guys are like like yes.
Yeah. So those are both albums that like if you told me like those albums suck, I'd be like, I can't really argue with that, but I really love them. There's nothing spectacular about them. But I constantly even you got Marty Worm, Gothic Slam. Ugh, wasn't a fan. But I just love that sound. That
Marty, stop it. Marty. Fuck.
That basic ass thrash shit that was real middle of the road. I don't know why. I hear those bands and they just make me happy every time. So
look, I'm the guy, and we kind of hinted at it earlier. Like I compare like some of these albums, like the stuff that Metal Theologian and I really embrace. It's like old B movies as well. You know what I mean? It's just like I love Trancers 4. Right? I have no problem with these like shitty films. I get a lot of pleasure from them. They give me a lot of joy, and if it makes you happy, how bad can it be?
That's how I feel about pretty much everything. That's why my channel is the kind of channel that it is, where I don't really ever talk about shit that I don't like, because I'm all like, there's plenty of people out there that can do that. Like, it's all about just me. Here's what I enjoy. I'm not telling you that it's good. You might think it's shit, but I'm just presenting you with the fact that I enjoy it, and here's why I enjoy it, and then that's it.
Nothing wrong with that.
and I get 10,000 subscribers. Although, if I've learned anything, 10,000 subscribers pretty much means I got 100 real solid viewers. So,
It's funny because my dad keeps up on the show. Like, I would call him, like, if there was a fan club, he would be the president of the fan club. But he gets so mad when someone puts a thumb down. I'm like, no, that means you're growing. It means you're growing, right? And he's like, you put so much work into this. How dare they?
He's probably happy now you can't see the thumbs down anymore.
What?
You can see the option to dislike a video, but viewers can no longer see how many people have disliked your video on YouTube.
That's horse shit. That's part of the
fun. Hey, peace, brother.
I did get told off by one woman one time. Like really told off. She was when I smashed the pie in my son's face. Like when my son broke my computer.
Yeah.
And, oh wow. She just basically was like pretty much threatening to call child services, and it's like okay.
Well, for putting, I'm assuming it was probably just whipped cream.
No, it had thumbtacks in it as well.
Well, you had to teach him a lesson somehow.
Yeah, we don't. I don't want him to grow up soft. I don't want him to be hard like his old man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I got to throw this up here. Peanut butter platypus from J Plus. Thank you. I always got to throw that up there. And then I have some regulars too. Faceless Melancholy says, "Hey, how are you?"
Hey,
nothing interesting.
Melancholy.
But
how come you're not? No, I don't mean to interrupt, but Faceless Melancholy, come on. Throw some love over here, man. Give us a thumbs down. I don't give a shit if that's even a thing.
Make sure you say what's up, Philip, just in case his mom is watching.
If my dad, because he's a narc, he will totally tell her too. Zep Pearl, sweet. This is a good kid too, let me tell you. You know Zeppers?
Yeah.
Oh, he's sweet. He's another bald guy too, like me. But I'll tell you. Yeah, no.
I appreciate everybody being here, by the way, because I've heard that sometime around now there's also a live stream tonight by this band called Metallica. I don't know who's going to be there, but
I hope Mustaine shows up. What's going on with Dave?
He wrote all the goddamn songs anyway.
What's going on with Dave lately?
Dave Mustaine?
Yeah, he looks really like he aged rapidly.
I don't. Dave is on a borderline for me, for where I'm almost done with him. Like all he has to do is say one more stupid thing, and I might just be like, fuck you. I'm done with you, and I break with thee, as they say.
I'm not a shallow guy. It's like, look at his image. Look what he looks like now. But Dave doesn't look well. And it feels like...
Well, he just went through fucking cancer treatment, dude.
I understand that. But I don't think that was as hard on his body. And so far, so good, so what? I think the effects of that just happened all at once. And I think it just caught up on him.
Yeah. I feel sorry for him too, because like I poke fun a lot at the fact that they have to play all their songs like 20 steps lower to where it doesn't even sound like the same song anymore, because he can't hit the notes. He can barely sing. But I'm all like, you know what? Well, I'm not gonna talk too much shit. He's old. He's been through a lot. I understand that, but it's more just like, he's always been that guy, even back in the 80s and the 90s, where he would say something, I'd be like, oh, you're kind of a dick. And it's never ended. And I can only stand so much dickishness, especially when you're not backing it up with badass music. Like, if he was still making shit that was on a level where I just went like, whatever, say whatever you want to fucking say. But it's not at that level for me. So I'm like, all right, come on, say one more thing.
Well, Martin Popoff, I don't know if you're familiar with Martin Popoff, the writer. I mean,
I own all 3 of his new Rush books that he put out that are I've only read one, but it's fucking great.
He always described Dave, and it's the perfect description, as the thrashed Ted Nugent.
He's almost there. Like I've been done with Ted Nugent for 30 years, so I can't really say anything. But Dave is almost there.
Oh God, Dave Mustaine actually gave me great. Oh wow, parenting advice once. Ooh, this is. I'm dying to hear this.
Yeah, what was the parenting advice? Also, Water Dive 122. I hear Anthrax is working on a new album. I saw an article on Google about how excited Joey Belladonna is to be working on it. I mean, I'm excited to hear Joey Belladonna sing, so they could put out an album of the same old shit, and I'd probably eat it up because that's the kind of fanboy that I am.
Well, you and I are huge. One thing that we will always agree on is that Anthrax are one of the greatest bands ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You take a lot of shit
every
for that?
era.
Do you take a lot of shit for that? Yeah.
I don't personally take shit, but people will chime in and say that they're kind of a joke. They shouldn't be in the big four and things like that. And but most of the time, a lot of the gripes I get are the fact that people feel like it has to be one team or another. You got to be John Bush or Joey Belladonna, and I'm all like, why can't you just be happy with the way things worked out? I'm perfectly fine with John Bush, and now I'm perfectly fine with Joey. But I don't know.
I talked to you about this though before. I remember my mother said you can stay home from school when Joey got fired. She was like,
I was upset to the point. I talked about this on the Cranked and Ranked ranking we did of Anthrax, where I talked about how I had just gotten into Anthrax on Persistence of Time. That was the new album, and then Attack of the Killer Bees, and I was a huge fan. And then they announced that Joey was out, and I saw I don't know if it was a rehearsal performance or something on Headbangers Ball where it was John Bush singing Cotton and Mosh, and I just went, no, why are they doing this? Yeah. This is going to be fucking horrible. So I was really bummed out about it. But once the album came out, I was like, well, good on him. This is some good shit, so I can't really complain. But
it was a good album. It was a great album. But the fact that I saw Armored Saint crumble in front of me, and I was a huge Armored Saint, and I still am. The new album is good, man. Do you own the new Armored Saint?
I don't, but I it's only because I spend so much money on older shit that I'm real picky with newer shit. Because bands like Armored Saint and like Flotsam and Jetsam, they continue to put out shit that I think is really good. But I'm just kind of like, all right, well, I don't have $40 to spend on your vinyl, but I like your album. It's kind of as far as it goes for me.
I'll just ask my dad to buy it.
I don't think Armored Saint didn't put out any bad album. Like I liked everything they've done.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, this newer one is the best that they've done in a long, long time.
At first, I was a little bit annoyed because I don't know if it was the first single, but it was very like, get off my lawn with this internet stuff. It was the lyrics were kind of like that.
Yeah, and the video was really like beating it over your head as well. Right? Yeah, I know. But listen, what about Overkill? Did you buy Overkill's last album? No? It's another band you didn't?
Overkill is phoning it in my opinion, and have been for several albums. But that's just also I'm not going to go into it because everyone's going to have to tune in eventually when there's another episode of Old Bollocks with me and Howard from Acid Rain. But the new Exodus album is not the album of the year. Okay? It is nowhere close.
Listen, that cover is probably one of the covers of the year.
Parts of it I like. Once you dig into it and you're like, oh, look, there's some cops with some batons. I'm all like, come on, dudes. It's like, it's too little too late from some bands that... anyway, it's not horrible, but let's. It's the same thing with Overkill.
Tom Hunting is watching this show right now, and you're killing him.
Is Goodwill Hunting watching this? I'm just kidding. Anyway, I like that movie. Let's talk about movies. Anyway, you haven't shown any records. Go grab a record and show it. Do it now.
What are you going to talk about? I don't want it to be awkward for your 10,000 fucking fans.
I'll talk to some chat people while you're picking something out, but just something you're thankful for right now. If you thought to yourself, what album am I thankful for right now? Go grab it.
All right.
Okay.
I'll grab like 3.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's see. What are we going to do here with some of the Unsound Rob? Not even close to Blood In, Blood Out. Yeah, I agree. I liked Blood In, Blood Out. I also have minor issues with that one as well. You know what I can do? I can do this to where it's like, it's just me. Everyone's just going to have to watch me now. That's the only reason I'm using this new thing I've never used before called StreamYard. Hopefully they'll give me some money for talking about how cool it is. Anyway, when he comes back, Metal Theologian, I'll tell him to show his Black Knight record. All right, cool. What do we got here? I'm going back up this thing. Oh, hold on. It was love both Joe and John. To be honest, Among the Living, Persistence of Time, and Sound of White Noise are tied for my favorite Anthrax album. They're all really fucking good albums, man. I don't know what to say. But once again, just because for those of you, I don't even know how many people are in here. Oh, it's 28 people. That's nothing. Everyone's probably watching Metallica, right? Am I right? But I just want the reason that I'm doing this live stream is to say thank you to everyone that's been supporting me. I've been doing this for almost 3 years, I think. Or is it almost fucking 4? No, I think it's almost 3 years in January. All right, hold on. Philip Phil is back, so we're going back to this. I was told by Metal Theologian to get your Black Knight record.
You shut up.
Anyway, but yeah, I was thanking everyone for supporting me for 3 years. The people there's some that have been there since the beginning when I literally was only doing a podcast and then posting podcast episodes, the Old Head podcast. And then I started doing videos that were really bad. And then I got, slightly better. I never really that good. That's why when you first contacted me and you're like, I'm digging your stuff, I'm all like, really? Are we... Are you watching the same videos I'm watching? Because they're just, they're passable at best. But no, I'm not doing that to get. I'm not doing this to get compliments. So let me stop you right there.
I am. My show is not that good.
Oh, shut up, dude.
No, stop it. No, listen. I love Headbangers Ball, the old Headbangers Ball. In fact, I want to do one with you, but I'm going to do the Canadian version that we had for Much Music, which was the Power Hour, the Pepsi Power Hour. And I think we should trade off. And then we're going to get taken down because we're going to offend and the copyright issues. Yeah. But you're so big now, it's not going to matter. It's like you're like
whatever.
You're going to be like
there is a lady out there doing makeup tutorials whose page has been up for 2 weeks and she's got 20,000 subscribers already.
I like miniature food cooking. Did you see those?
Is that a thing?
Oh
no!
Like people just don't even unsubscribe from me and Old Head. Don't leave the show now. Go watch miniature food cooking because it is so charming. Are you into ASMR? Cooking. Would you think about doing an Old Head ASMR video? Just one, just for laughs.
I would do them if somebody wanted them, but how do you do it? Do I just chew into the microphone, or what do I do? I don't understand.
You get shit like this. Remember, earlier today, we were talking about mics. So this is not plugged in right now, but you gotta talk shit like this, and you gotta give people tinglies. So it's like you pick it up. It's like he's got.
So it's kind of like you're listening to NPR.
Yeah,
like it's very.
And you're just talking about Steve Sousa's hairdo, and then you're like making ruffly sounds. What it would feel like to lie down on silky sheets next to Reed St. Mark. It's like,
if I did that though, I would also randomly yell, and so people would never be really comfortable with it, and they'd be really annoyed with me all the time.
They're annoyed with me all the time. So listen, I'm ready to get thankful.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I know we talked about this earlier, but I'm thankful for your shirt because you're wearing a State of Euphoria T-shirt.
It's not a Neil Turbin album. Berserker.
I'm wearing the Berserker for those of you who know. Which you know what? That's mildly. That's
fuck.
Berserker. That's mildly connected to Canada because Kevin Smith is a fan of Canada and has made movies that took place in Canada. So there you go.
He also is playing in Mallrats. He's the Vancouver Canucks, I do believe, when he's taking on the Hartford Whalers. Some trivia for you people.
Oh, yeah.
Deep. All right, here's one that because our contest that we're getting into is sleaze, and this one that I left out, but I still love it. Oral with sex.
I've seen that one, but I've never heard it.
Yeah. On Conquest Records. Look at these girls. I mean, excuse me, ladies. Look at these ladies. Love Pole, right? Pearl Necklace. I mean, I Need Discipline. I love that song. I need discipline.
Is it? But that's not metal though, right? Isn't that like pop music?
Oh no, it's metal adjacent. it's yeah, it's good. I'm proud of it, and I'm very thankful for it.
That's one of those ones that like the cover makes me laugh so much that I almost want to just go buy it. But I know that's probably one of those albums that's also super expensive.
Yeah. Proto porno grind. Awesome. That's perfect. Another one. This is no surprise. We've talked about this in the past. As you know, I don't want to spoil things for a future show that I'm doing, but this album is my favorite album of all time.
I won't accept any mix that isn't the original mix. Like I love how that album sounds as it is.
I bought them all, and I have no problem with the Star Wars remastering, the new one that they have done with Jar Jar on bass. But I will tell you that this is perfect. It didn't need to be anything else.
And I've talked about this before. That original album cover is way better than the one that they came up with later.
What's wrong with this?
Nothing. I've always said that looks creepy to me. Like actually a serial killer would have made a picture like that and then put it out. Whereas the newer one just looks like some kid made a metal drawing in class.
This is so occult. It's just so, it's a tinfoil, visor. Yeah, exactly. It looks like something that a killer would do. You've nailed it right on the head.
Speaking of something that's kind of creepy that isn't metal related, but I'm assuming you probably already know about this, but I didn't. I actually learned about it from young Eddie Sparks. The album by the band The Shags from the 60s. Yeah. Have you heard that before?
Yes, yeah.
It is the most unsettling album I've ever heard, and it's not. It's just because I don't know if it's supposed to be funny or if they didn't know what they were doing. If something is wrong in the heads of these ladies, but it makes me feel so creepy that I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I'm just like, that is the fucking weirdest thing I've ever heard. Because there are bands that try to be weird, and I'm like, oh, it's very cute. And then there's this where you don't know if it's a joke or there was mistakes made. But why would you do an entire album where the drums are completely off from everything else? It's just it's baffling to me.
I love a crazy fucked up album. And hold on a second. Water Dive 122 production. Sorry, Philip, but Rust in Peace is better. Seems to be a popular opinion.
So here's the thing. I like Rust in Peace more, but I almost feel like how do you compare those two albums? Like,
oh, you can't. Cannot.
I have to be in a completely different mood to listen to Rust in Peace. And then there's certain moods that the only album that's going to work is Killing Is My Business. Like that's why they're great.
There's a big difference between cocaine and booze and heroin.
Yeah, you have a good point.
There's a very big difference, and I will say, I'm not going to spoil it, but Water Dive, I'm a big fan of you. I have all your albums as well. I'm going to address this in a future episode of my show. Whether you check it out or not, I don't know, but I'll get into it with you. And man, I think I might change your opinion.
Okay.
Two more.
Two.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I guys, treat yourself. I have more too. So, I know we can go.
I'm getting close to the end though, so we're gonna get to a point where we actually have to start just talking. that stuff.
Gross. I don't know where you stand with this band, but it's a band that I love very much. Blue Oyster Cult.
I like some of their stuff. They're one of those bands that they have such a gigantic discography that I kind of just go, I don't even know where to start. But I've never heard anything I didn't like, so I got to give them that.
Yeah, they're a weird band, and they're not for everybody. And I find that some of the hits on the classic albums that everyone's like, you got to check out this definitive Blue Oyster Cult song, and I'm like, yeah, it's the weirder ones. That are
is it weird? Is it weird that I really enjoy? Don't they do "Burnin' for You"? Isn't that Blue Oyster Cult? I absolutely love that song, and I'm pretty sure that's probably sellout Blue Oyster Cult, right? That's not cool Blue Oyster Cult.
I guess some people, for sure, people would say that, but I mean, no way, man. That's a fantastic song.
This is something that I know I'm going to say it, and I think I know the right name because it's been years, but. The only Blue Oyster Cult related album I've ever owned was because my older brother worked at a record/video store, and he would bring home promos like, this looks like something you'd be into. And he brought me home the soundtrack, and I think the movie was called Bad Channels. And the soundtrack was done by Blue Oyster Cult. And I just remember, like, there's so much weird shit on it, and I loved it so much, but I haven't heard it in years. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I gotta go find that Bad Channels
I'm
soundtrack.
So glad that you brought up Bad Channels, because what do you think the radio station's name is in Bad Channels? It's Superstation 66.
Holy shit, it comes full circle. Look at that.
Yep, here it is.
All I remember was that there's... Also, when can I buy those? When can we buy those?
Hopefully on December 1st, our shop is opening. Right,
okay.
I'm working on that.
It's gonna close because I'm gonna buy everything.
Yes. Yes.
All I remember is there's a song in the Bad Channel soundtrack where it's like I don't even know. It's probably not Blue Oyster Cult. It's probably some other band that's on the soundtrack. But I just remember
Keel.
It was like
it's Keel.
It starts off as like a groovy metal song, and then it switches to this part where the guy's going, "I'm so happy, you're so happy," and I'm like, that's weird as hell. But I don't know who did that
Mr.
song.
Bungle. That wasn't Mr. Bungle. I don't know who that was. It felt like Mr. Bungle mixed with like later Oingo Boingo.
Later Oingo Boingo. All right, okay.
So that doesn't sound so bad to me, but it had that kind of like quirky like vibe.
That's one of those things that like I forgot about. Like I had it and I probably sold it to a used CD store when I was in my late teens, but now I'm all like, I got to go find that online and go listen to it again.
Do you listen? Do you know Keel, the band, right? Ron Keel.
Yeah. Yep.
So Keel had Mark Ferrari and all those guys in the band, and it was a blistering, like hotshot guitar sort of like act. They're hated for sure. I love them. I love Keel.
Isn't Keel the guy that was married to Lita Ford?
No, that's Chris Holmes from Wasp.
No.
Chris Holmes was married to Lita Ford.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the guy that apparently imprisoned her and she had to escape him. I think it was the guy from Keel.
Really?
Well, I'm not going to do research right now. If anybody knows the guy that Lita Ford was married, and now they're claiming that she was a psycho and they won't let her see her children. Yeah. And I honestly believe both sides of that story. I don't know.
When you get
I know Holmes from Moss was married to her, but Nitro, guy from Nitro.
Oh, Jim Gillette. That's right, Jim Gillette.
Is it bad that I thought of Keel and it was Nitro? Are those bands even close to each other?
I'm not offended. As a fan of both. Bob Rock. Okay, so I got something here, and I don't know if you have this. I don't know. This is a first print. Okay, a little band started off on this.
Oh no, I don't have that. Is that a first print with the misspelled Metallica name? Oh, Metatalica.
And funny enough, Steeler is on there with Ron Keel.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of those that I don't think I'll ever have enough money to get one.
Mr. 10,000 subscribers can't afford a Metal Massacre. Oh, and me down in 1,500 territory. Oh.
Yeah, you can't even monetize yet, bitch, can you?
I can't even do shit. Oh, guys, I got stickers.
Oh wait, you can
for
do that at
sale.
1,000.
I got stickers for sale. Fuck you.
You know that shit. See, here I was talking to my wife about this earlier about how I have 10,000 subscribers now. But if you go to my average videos, it'll have like the comment section will have maximum 10 comments. You go to yours and there's like 100 comments on your shit. And so that's why I'm trying to say, like, you may have only like 1,500 or whatever subscribers, but I almost feel like all of them watch your shit. Whereas I have 10,000 and 150 watch my shit.
Mine pity me, though.
Whatever. It's because you do the best shit on YouTube. Let's hear it, everybody. Get the comments going. Come on.
Well, listen, I'm coming on here. I'm poaching some of your fans here tonight. I swear to God. If I log in, hold on a second. Now, let's see what this affair brought me tonight, because I'm going to be that
everybody,
guy.
If you're not subscribed to Chromium, please.
I'm hanging up. If I don't have 2, you're fucked. I don't have time for this horse shit.
Oh, that's true. Rat was on the original Metal Massacre also. Another band that I love.
I got 10 more, baby.
Fuck yeah. See, thank you guys for coming through for me. That's what we want. Now, you know what? We're going to do this, like, we're going to stay on here until you also reach 10,000 subscribers. We are not going to leave this broadcast.
I ain't stopping. We're going to go forever. It's going to be like one of those charities. It's like 6 days from now, I'm going to be dehydrated.
We're going to be like one of those movies. It seemed like every other movie from the 80s that somebody was having to raise money for something, and they had a little thermometer with the with the amount of money that they raised. Guys, it's like Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, God, I love that. But people, listen, if you don't subscribe to the show and support it, they're going to bulldoze the local arcade for a whites-only golf course. So we got to raise $10,000 for a dance-off tonight. Whites only, the worst.
Yeah. I agree. Like that is a sign to make me not go anywhere near wherever you are.
What's your favorite rap album that you brought it up? See, now we got to talk to one another.
I brought a rap album, but this is not my favorite one. So my favorite rap album is probably it's really tough. There's a lot of really good ones.
Do you rap?
I probably would go for... Do I rap? No.
Yeah.
I would be really awful. It's probably Strictly Business by EPMD. Might be my favorite. Because that is one that like I throw on all the time and always enjoy. Bizarre Ride to the Far Side. Also one of my favorite rap albums of all time. I don't know. And then there are some basic bitch ones. Like Enter the 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang. I mean, who doesn't fucking love that?
Right.
And Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back by Public Enemy. All good shit. But I think EPMD is probably my favorite hip-hop group. For consistency.
Right. I started off as a rap guy before I turned metal because of Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I had no, like, I keep on like teasing. I feel like an episode of '60s Batman. I'll do that later.
That's probably my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie too.
It's the goriest. It had some very good effects.
Yeah, really interesting shit. That was the Rennie Harlan, isn't that? Didn't he direct that?
Rennie Harlan did, and Screaming Mad George did the makeup effects. Like the cockroach scene. That was just fantastic. But the soundtrack.
Let's talk about the soundtrack, and then I'm gonna.
Well, I mean, the soundtrack. Are we rapping now? Is that what we're doing? Are we white guy?
That was beatboxing. Did you hear it?
I'm a Fat Boys guy, right? And Fat Boys crushing. See, I adore the Fat Boys.
Yeah. So you brought it up because Fat Boys are on the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 soundtrack, which I just played on my last episode of Old Headbangers Ball.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and I adore the Fat Boys. When I was hanging around with a lot of guys that weren't into metal, I hung around with punks, strangely enough, that tolerated me, and a lot of rap guys. And the guy that they got me into the most was Too Short. And
Oh
that
yeah, yeah.
I remember. Okay, people, you ready for me? You ready for the BBQutioner to do some rap? I don't know how accurate this is. Let's see if I can remember it. It's like, what is life? Life's too short. Play young bitches like them's a sport. Wow, that felt so right. What do you think? Would you buy?
I like it.
I feel like that was the equivalent of my grandfather playing Super Mario Brothers. Was me.
That's I can't. It's funny like how much I love hip hop for the most part, but I think the only person that's heard me rap is my wife, and it's only because like I have a few drinks in me, and once It Takes Two comes on, I'm all like, I want to rock right now. Like I mean, you just got to keep going with that fucking song. But nobody else in the world is going to hear me rap because if I ever wanted to quote a rap song, I would read it like I was reading a geography book.
Well, did that not sound like I was just like describing?
It was a little cool. It was
But
Fat Boys. I had to give some love to the Fat Boys because I had to bring that out, especially for you and I, because I know we're both hip hop fans, but you also love the Fat Boys.
Well, you mentioned Electric Boogaloo 2 and Ice-T with Chris the Glove.
Ice-T's in both Breaking movies.
Yeah, Party People. And I mean, when I was a kid, like, I don't know what it was, but I mean, that actually had like Ice-T is wearing Vince Neil's exact outfit from Shout at the Devil, the exact outfit. And
they rented it from the same place.
Yeah, and Chris the Glove, who was his MC, had the exact Neil Turbin like gauntlet that he has. So I mean, I guess somewhere in my mind, I guess I was always attracted to that sort of shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing for me. Like I could say that I was into hip hop before I was into metal because I listened to like Van Halen and stuff like that.
Right.
But like the Breaking movies especially were really important to me because I watched them so many times, and I'm sure you maybe can relate. Like I several times took a piece of cardboard outside and tried to do a little bit of breakdancing, and it was always the most awkward shit that's ever happened. But I gave it when I was 9-10 years old. I gave it a shot. Probably younger than that. Probably 6 or 7. Shit.
Yeah, I love all that old school shit like Houdini and all that. I mean, I like rap that really it was like, my name is so and so when I'm here to say. I have no problems with that.
I like that stuff too, but my favorite is what would be starting what would be considered the golden age, which I think people always say that kind of starts in like 86 or 87. And it starts with bands like Boogie Down Productions and EPMD, and then kind of moves into the 90s a little bit. And then once gangster rap kind of takes over, then that kind of ends the golden age. Although I like some of that shit too.
I like Easy E. But Yo Bum Rush the Stage. Oh my, you're gonna get yours. My '98 Oldsmobile. Yeah. That song blew my mind as a kid.
Yeah.
And sometimes people think that I got into Public Enemy because of Anthrax, but
yeah,
I'm not sure. It's all blending. I think it might be the other way around. It's just strange because I don't know. It's just seeing.
I probably was a little bit later on Public Enemy because some of those groups were a little scary to me for my young white boy self. So I didn't get into NWA right away either or anything like that. It came a few years later. But yeah, man. I'm checking the comments here.
Well, I see J Plus calls the Fat Boys the Disco 3. That motherfather is old school. Right? He knows the score.
Human Falafel says the best of Gerardo. You talking about Rico Suave?
Rico. Can you imagine how pissed off some people are of your subscribers that are watching this show and they're like, BBQutioner and Old Head are talking about hip hop. What? We bamboozled you, man. We gotcha.
Also, this right here, like, yeah, Tupac, fine. Eric B. and Rakim, like, yeah, that is some of the best shit. Is Eric B. and Rakim? I'll go with Gangstar too. And they are dope. as they say.
I hated
like
the Beastie Boys. I hated them.
I love the Beastie Boys. I got into them. I've loved them ever since album number 1. Hold on, here we go. The real questions. What do you think of Insane Clown Posse?
Oh, I love the idea of the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, I still don't really know how magnets work. So, it's one of those things. I'm not really into them. They're kind of basic.
Let's piss people off a little bit more, okay? When you dropped your review on the new Fred Durst project,
Limp Bizkit, come on.
Limp Bizkit.
You can say the words.
Limp Bizkit. I was out in the fire pit in my yard, and I was like clapping. I was like, yes. Why do I give that band a pass when I hate that entire era? I loathe that era. But something about that band.
It's exactly what we're talking about just doing shit that's enjoyable. Like, it doesn't have to be good, although there are aspects of what they do that I consider good for what they do, but it's more just like having a good time. And most of the time, like the drummer of Spinal Tap once said, have a good time all the time. That was the keyboard player, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That said that.
That's my philosophy,
Martin. But that's just how I feel, because it's the same thing. I always like to bring up, because I feel like it kind of gives people a good gauge as to how I feel about things like music and movies. I enjoy Adam Sandler movies. And it's only because, like, he doesn't promise you something that you're not going to get. Like, you know what you're going in there for.
Yeah.
And some of them will be not very funny at all. Some of them will be pretty enjoyable to me. But I'm all like, I always at least enjoy myself. But I would never go to somebody and say, go watch that Adam Sandler movie. Oh, there's a couple I would say go watch, but most of them I'd be like, no. But a new Adam Sandler movie comes out, I don't even care what it's fucking called. I'm gonna watch it.
Eddie, you know what he's doing to us, right? When you watch this tomorrow morning, he's the Adam Sandler, and you and I are the David Spade and Rob Schneider. We're your Rob Schneiders. 10,000, motherfucker.
Shut the fuck up. You know what? If I wish that I was the Adam Sandler and I could just buy you both a car or some shit like that.
I'm your Bobcat Goldthwait. Come on, Texas drinkers. What are you doing, man? You're just listen. I got this whole motherfucker. Is this the same one? Because you Texans.
Yeah, well, no. I have a box.
Oh. I was going to try to convince you tonight that I stopped drinking.
I don't know how good my video is, but you can tell my face starts to get red. That's how you know that I'm actually getting a little drunk.
How drunk do you get on some of these? Because sometimes I only see a couple. Like when you did the review between Metallica beer and Megadeth beer, you keep it together pretty good. Now I get blotto.
No, I don't like getting like out of control drunk. I never have. Mm-hmm. So in that particular video, I drank 2 beers, but one of them was pretty big. Mm-hmm. So I get a little bit tipsy. And then once I get tipsy, then I slow down and I try to just continue that tipsy buzz. Because once you get to the point, the few times in my life that you've had that drunk where you close your eyes and everything spins inside your head, I never want to feel that way again. So, but I do like having a consistent buzz, and so I kind of pace myself a little bit. But yeah, no, I don't get really fucked up.
How drunk was I on Marty and Alan's show? I was smashed on that one. Oh shit!
You didn't seem really drunk though.
No, that's Canadian drunk.
J Plus says I'm a lot drunk. Awesome. I hope other people are drunk too. Metal Theologian says, "Who's Eddie?"
Fast Eddie Sparks, man.
Well, so I don't know. I mean, Metal Theologian. So I do a video series and podcast called Cranked and Ranked, and me and Eddie Sparks rank band discographies. and he has his own YouTube page also. But he's kind of on hiatus because he's working on something big. But yeah, check us out. I don't know. The Metal Theologian. I feel like I'm nervous now because the Metal Theologian is still here.
You should
like
be.
He's been here.
You should be. He has the biggest judgment hammer. He busts my balls. He is my Lex Luthor. He's my Lex Luger. he is my Renee Belloc. He's got an obscuro metal collection that I not only envy, that I plan on attacking someday. I want him to know, don't sleep. I will be coming for you someday. He's got Wizard. It's the ultimate album I want to own. And that son of a bitch just flaunts it. And he does it like with such a shit-eating grin. He's so evil. So yeah, you should be nervous, man.
I have to always explain to people because, like, I have a lot of records, not a lot by some people's standards, but I do have a lot. But every time someone's like, oh, you must have this like badass record collection, I'm all like, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for because I own Saint Anger on vinyl and I love it. So I mean, I know what you take with that, what you will, and you run with it because you're going to get classics, like the Fat Boys, or more obscure things like Gothic Slam or Slaughterhouse. Sure. But at the same time, I also own Eminem's last 2 albums on vinyl. So I mean,
that's our corner, man. Like Metal Theologian and I are like 2 hookers that kind of like are on our own corner, and we've kind of agreed because we get along because we have the same pimp, but there is a little bit of rivalry. If your ass shows up with some leader album, like, we are going to stab you. I promise.
Well, I've resigned myself to feeling like I felt in high school, where like you guys are the cool guys.
Oh,
and I want to be liked by you. And so, this is, I do as much. I do as much as I can. Can I talk about another record I want to give thanks to?
I'll allow it.
It will go along with me not being very cool at all. Because I was thinking about what are the things this year that have been keeping me happy. Like my life's good. I have a pretty damn good life. But there are those times where like I really I'm annoyed at work or something, and I need something to pep me up. There are things that I go to. And so this year I want to give thanks to 1980s Kiss. That is what I want to give thanks to, and I love
How do you groom it like that? How do you groom that?
Look at his fucking panties, though. Like, that is my favorite part of that picture. He's showing that he's wearing a G-string, and all the other pictures are fine. They're all very classy looking individuals. But for some reason, and it's not new. It's nothing new. This was the first Kiss album I ever heard back in the 80s. Was this one. And then I quickly got double platinum, and then I became a fan. But with Strutter 78, I know.
But Gene without makeup is kind of like when some of my friends that aren't aware that they're in their mid-40s, and they want to go to the clubs because they're divorced and have midlife crisis, and I'm like a wholesome family man, you can tell, right? And they convince me to go along with them, and I watch their shenanigans from the side of the bar with my Uncle Horseshoe hairdo. That's Gene Simmons without makeup. It's just like he's lost complete control. He's lost faith in the entire project.
Speaking of makeupless Gene and Kiss, last night I watched on one of my VHSs that I'm proud to own. I watched Kiss Exposed. I
knew you were going to say that.
Because that is still one of the most enjoyable home videos I've ever seen. Because it's like Paul and Gene are the best comedy duo in metal.
I could never argue that. I could never
argue. It's just so great.
Who do you think? Go ahead.
No. When you start a question like that, I want to hear the end of it.
Who do you think would win in a fight? The scene where Paul Stanley is in bed with all those women, or
the Carols,
versus Vince Neil's woman entourage on Motley Crue's Uncensored, where they answer the door and the acting is so phoned in. It's like, oh hey, Vince is upstairs, I think, and it's like, who is sleazier? Like, who wins?
Motley Crue wins because if you watch Kiss exposed enough times, you realize that they're taking the piss out of themselves. The Motley Crue one, I think it was really an attempt to be like, this is what life is like when you're a rocker. Because, like, if you remember, like in Kiss Exposed, there's women laying all over the mansion to the point where the butler comes and he's dusting off one of them that's laying on a bench.
Yeah, it's like in Bruno with the human furniture people. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying. Like,
yeah. So I really do think it's sleazier when you're trying to be taken seriously with it.
I really do think, though, in Motley Crue's defense, I really do think that was their life.
It probably was.
I have, like, I know there was bad acting at the beginning, but no. And Mick Mars, I don't know. I'm not a car guy. I wish I was. My father would know this. He's so disappointed in me. But that car that he's in, that red car, and he's just talking, oh, yeah, I got to go get a Wizard myself. Yeah, that is probably one of my favorite scenes, too, because Mick he's not old, but he's older than those guys.
Yeah. Did you watch the Dirt movie?
I hated it. I hated it.
Oh, I loved it. But also, but one of the biggest things I loved about it was the guy that played Mick, because he just
sure.
He just I already liked Mick a lot. And then just in the movie, I was just like, yeah, that's exactly right. That's how he needs to be in the movie. He's the guy that's just sort of watching all of this nonsense, randomly commenting on it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to articulate, but I think the red label is creeping up my spine. I feel that he was the best part. The part that I didn't like was that Tommy Lee was just like, yeah, I love the fact that he was a mama's boy, but they made him out to be like, hey, get off the bus, you bitch. No, it was much more than that. It was he's a very, like, he's a big dickhead. Like, he is a violent
asshole. It's also a movie made in association with the band. There's no way it's gonna
Yeah, but like, everybody knew it was kind of true. You might as well, if it's called The Dirt, lay it out. Like, we were scumbags, we've grown from this and we've learned, you know what I mean?
Have they?
I don't know. How do you feel about Vince Neil today, like his performances?
I don't care. I would not go see Motley Crue because I don't have faith that he can pull it off. But if he wants to continue doing things the way he's doing things and people pay money to go see them, more power to him.
Yeah.
Who am I to say get in shape? I am the most out of shape person that I know. And so it's like, I know what it's like. And like, I've been in bands before, and I'm pretty sure if I was is he 60 now? Is Vince Neil 60? He's got to be.
He's probably in his 60s. You're going to see me in my underwear in the new episode of Chromium, by the way.
Finally,
drunk as
also are we going to get an update on the gang about what happened to them?
God damn, you have no idea what's happening in this third season. This is going to be huge. The effects. I'm so ready. My father, Daddy, I was like, Papa, I was like, I want to take it to the next level. Can I have $300 and I won't pay you back? And he's like, 3 crisp Canadian dollars,
which is by the way is less. It's worth less than it is in America.
In Yankee Blue Jeans, in Yankee Blue Jeans, that's about $177. My dad played like Desiderius as the main bad guy in the episode, and he didn't have a goddamn clue what was going on. And then when you see the BBQutioner on the ground, you think it's me. It's not. It's my wife. And there was scenes where the hood.
that makes me love your videos even more. That it's a family affair.
It's completely. My 6-year-old son is my lighting guy, and he was actually puppeteering some of the things, and like it's absolutely hysterical. Yeah, my mother was in there, and she was watching it, and she was like trying to move the lights, and it's offensive. Like my mother watches the show, and my mother's like a good Catholic woman, right? You know what I mean? And it's like she's a good Irish Catholic, and my dad's a Catholic French Canadian, and they're watching this. I'm like, we didn't raise you this way.
It was, you know what? Just to put it into perspective, though, my parents don't even know I have a YouTube channel. Wouldn't even watch it if they knew. I'm not close with my family.
Really?
No, my family is literally here in this house with me, and my wife's family. They're great people. But I've tried to get my wife and my daughter to be in my show, to the point where, like, at one point I was talking to my daughter. I'm like, we can talk about Billie Eilish. Let's just do that. And she's like,
sure.
No. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. But she won't. She just doesn't want anything to do with it. And eventually it'll happen. But
yeah,
that makes me. I'm a little bit. I'm envious that everyone joins in what you're doing.
Well, they think I'm an idiot. And my coworkers. Now, in the new episode, I got my coworkers to partake in the new episode because I needed.
I don't even have coworkers because I work from home.
I hate you so much sometimes.
But here's the thing: I don't really like people, and so the fact that I wanted to do this with you tonight, that's a big compliment.
Well, that's a big compliment to me. I take it. But I mean, I used to have a business.
And all these people in the comments, I like them too. I
used to have a business card that actually had a tier place so you could roll joints and have a filter paper on it. And it said, I have no credentials nor a fancy title, but I'm all right to talk to. That was my business card. And
I like that.
This have a good time. All the time. That's my philosophy, Mountain.
Of course, we're not going to fucking do Stonehenge.
Yeah. So look at this. Look at the crowd we've got here.
We've got 22 people. That's nothing. I mean, 10,000 subscribers and only 22.
You pull this shit on a Saturday night, dude. Like. The cool kids are
Saturday night's all right for fighting and watching live streams. So,
and also the worst cover song ever written next to Exodus Lowrider. Do you remember when Flotsam and Jetsam covered that song?
I liked the Flotsam one, but the Lowrider one from Exodus isn't really that.
That is the complete opposite of Lowrider. Exodus is they're not low riding.
Also, I gotta pull up for Mr. Eric Bauer. Smoke weed every day.
That's true. Hold on, let me go grab a wizard. Hey, Eric.
Okay.
Eric's a friend of mine. You know Eric?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But if any friend of yours is a friend of mine,
he's in.
Send some to me. I can't. I don't.
Fuck you. You got enough. Fuck you.
I don't have any weed. Anyway, we go back to just me. Hi everybody. J plus John Corabi is underrated. He's a good singer. I'm all about that. So what happened over here earlier? Let's see. There's so many. I keep talking shit because there's only 20 something people like watching this, but I want you all to know that I appreciate you, and yeah, this is awesome. It's awesome that you guys are here, and those of you who are like. You know what I'm talking about, peanut butter platypus. If you know what I mean when I say that, then you guys are the ones that like are keeping me alive and wanting to do this. So this live stream is a thank you to all of you. I'm also getting a little bit drunk, so I apologize. Eric Bauer missed the Kiss discussion. It's because I brought out this album. Because I wanted to give thanks to 80s era Kiss, but the man is back, and so let's pull him back up here.
Garrison.
Oh, a Garrison! I've never had a Garrison.
I don't know where it's from. The East Coast. That's where I'm from.
I normally drink very cheap beer, but I'm repping my city tonight. But normally I drink. There's a beer you can buy here called Frio. And Frio is like you can get a fucking like 30 pack for $15. and
Oh
so
shit.
and so yeah, it's basic Pilsner shit. Because I honestly, like, as much as I drink beer, as soon as somebody is all like, "What is your favorite craft beer?" and I'm all like, "What's craft? What? Get out of my face."
I'm a
Not,
Budweiser. I'm a Budweiser guy and Coors Banquet. However, if you wanted a beer from my
oh,
small town, it's called Iron Rock.
so I probably can't get it over here, huh?
Oh, definitely not. Like the guy across the street from me makes this,
So
literally.
so here's what you need to do. Send me one of those and go to your local store and get me that Rush beer and send me
Can't
those
do it.
because
Can't do
why
it.
not?
I
Are
cannot
they
send
sold
it
out?
across the border.
You
Not
no,
allowed.
you can come on. Look me in the eyes and tell me that you're not willing to break some laws for your old pal over here in the US.
Do you have any idea the trouble that I got, like the pain I went through to get the boys from Municipal Waste to get me a Tech 9 replica into Canada? The weapon, Tech 9.
Yeah.
Tech 9,
Not
brother.
not the rapper.
Not the wrapper. The actual, because I needed it for my Big Trouble in Little China. And it's not a working Tech 9, it's an airsoft, but we're not allowed to have them in our country. So the boys from
What's your
Municipal
favorite?
Waste had to send me it piece by piece with like with
That's
little
awesome.
no with the most hilarious like dollar store toys like bubbles and planes. You don't have anyone from Border Services watching this, do you?
Fuck, man, I hope so. That would mean that I'm big time. Somebody important like that. Well, who are you close with in the municipal waste camp that sent you
uh,
that?
Ryan. Ryan is like one of my
Okay,
dearest friends. He's a good kid. Pinchable cheeks,
I'm
man.
not really into that band a lot, but they seem like super great guys. Like anytime I've seen like an interview or anything, I'm always just like, yeah, how can I not like your band? I want to hang out with you dudes.
Look,
So
all those guys. I don't know the singer very well. I seem to like I'm very friendly with Nick in the band as well, who was part of Bad as well. I mean, he's awesome as well. But the singer Tony, he
yeah,
was
I
he
think
was never
it's Tony.
he was never he was never mean to me or rude. He just
Yeah,
didn't know I existed. But the
yeah,
rest of the guys seem very nice. But
that's like the whole
Ryan,
band with me.
yeah, Ryan and I could share a futon. You know what I mean? And it's like we'd have a great time.
Sweet.
Watching Police Academy movies and sharing a bag of Cheetos. Like, and it wouldn't be
What?
at
Oh
all
man,
odd.
you keep saying things that make me want to ask you questions. That this makes me think this broadcast is going to last forever. The question I was going to ask earlier is, what is your favorite John Carpenter movie?
Oh, well, my favorite movie of all time is Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, okay. I loved that movie so much when I was a kid. I mean, I love it now too. But that was I because it's really hard because there were two John Carpenter movies that I was obsessed with when I was a kid, and they're both kind of polar opposite. One was that one, and the other one was Christine. Like
I love
I don't
Christine.
know, I don't know what it was about Christine that I wanted to watch it over and over and over again. Like I was as a kid, I'm like, this is probably the most perfect horror movie I've ever seen. Like it just, I think it's because it was so weird to me as a kid. I'm all like, it's a car, but it's a horror movie. It was, I don't know.
To me, Christine had probably some of the most amazing bad guys. What's the name? Buddy? Buddy, what's his name?
Yeah, the guy
Buddy,
that looks like is that the guy that looks like John
the
Travolta?
greaser? Yeah, he's the greaser. Like he is such an asshole, and I was
Yeah,
obsessed with him. Like I loved all those guys, and I just thought, and the transformation, and being possessed by that car, I just thought it was. And the guy who sold him the car with like that brace, and he looks like he's like dying of cancer. Oh, I
yeah,
just thought that
yeah.
movie was perfect. And Dean, what's his name? Stockwell, John Stockwell, or is it Dean Stockwell? Yeah, John Stockwell. Yeah, that's his friend. That's Arnie's
They
friend.
both sounded right when you said them.
Yeah, that's Arnie's friend who's the jock guy. He's trying to convince. He's like, you don't want to buy this car, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's such a perfect movie. But yeah, Big Trouble in Little China.
Zip Pearls says Escape from New York, also a good
Well,
one.
Zeppers, like that is for me too. Yeah, like I own like complete replicas of those for my wardrobe collection because that's another thing I do collect is movie wardrobes and props and things like that. And
Yeah.
the Big Trouble in Little China, those boots that I own, there's
Yeah.
only 2 pairs of those in existence. And it's those ones and one that Kurt Russell owns.
Man, that's fucking awesome. So if I immediately tried to think of like what's a costume from a movie that I would want to own, and I was like, I want to own Turbo's wardrobe from Breaking Breaking Two. Breaking Two. Let's do his wardrobe from Breaking Two. Man, he probably just give it to me.
Breaking 2 is such a betrayal of the original Breaking, though, because like the first one is so urban and gritty, and when Menachem and Golan
Did we watch the same movie? There's nothing gritty about Breaking.
Listen, compared to Breaking 2's day glow, color,
Electros rule the dance floor now, sucker.
Yeah, and when they ripped off the Elm Street 1 rotating set where Shrimp Boogaloo is like dancing on the ceiling.
That's a great scene, man.
I shouldn't say Elm Street 2, it's more Fred Astaire, I should say. Like
or Dancing on the Ceiling by Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie, yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, that was it didn't seem so urban than the first Breaking. Do you like Mean Street? Not Mean Streets, excuse me. Beat Street.
Beat Street. Beat Street. I was when I was younger. It almost felt like you had to be in one camp or the other, and I was a Breakin' fan. But I really did enjoy Beat Street and fucking Crush Groove. Like, I mean, it's like, you know, sure. there was all these hip hop movies that came out that I loved. But I think Breakin' connected with me just because it was more fun than Beat Street. And
yeah, well. Which is strange because Beat Street, who made Beat Street? I can't remember. I know that Breakin' was done by Canon Films, and even if you don't know anything about movies, you goddamn know Canon Films.
Did you ever watch that documentary on Canon Films? It's fun as fuck.
I own 2 of those documentaries. The Go-Go Boys. Oh Jesus Christ, that is so good.
Yeah. But, so since we're on the subject of Breakin', have you ever seen Rappin'?
I don't think so.
So that was the 3rd Breakin' movie that has none of the original characters from Breakin', and I believe it's Mario Van Peebles is the main guy, but it's called Rappin', and it's all about rap, and it is like literally if you thought that either one of the Breakin' movies was a bad movie, Rappin', it takes the cake for really, really bad movies. So you need to go watch Rappin'. I think somebody actually posted the full thing on YouTube, but that was the same. It was I believe also a Canon film, and yeah, check it out. Do yourself a favor.
Metal Theologian said, "What is it?" Eric said, "I'd buy the arm prosthetic from Green Room." Okay. I'd buy the arm prosthetic from Galaxy of Terror.
Also, everybody keeps everyone brings up like where was it? Like this was brought up. I came here to chew gum and kick ass. I'm like, oh yeah, They Live is a fucking great movie too. See, that's the thing that like when somebody brings up John Carpenter, because I'm not a big movie guy, but he's one of those guys that consistently throughout the years put out all these movies that when I was younger, I would see them and go, I've never seen anything like this. This is awesome. And that was always how I felt with John Carpenter.
Had a chance to meet him. Had a chance to meet him.
Nice.
Refused.
You refused or he did?
I refused. I turned down John Carpenter. Not that he was waiting for me. I just couldn't. If he treated me like, say, the way Alice Cooper treated me, I couldn't handle it.
What did Alice Cooper do?
It's not what he did. It's what he didn't do. I was expecting Alice to get up and be like, Phil, oh my God, I'm a huge fan of your fucking antics. No.
Instead he was like, actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
When I was into doing that shit, you know, like going to like expos and shit like that when I was younger and really doing cosplay before like that was a word. He was there in Toronto, and I lined up for hours to meet Alice Cooper because I adore Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
And when I met him, he did the worst thing of all. He didn't look up. He
Oh
didn't even
shit.
acknowledge my existence. And
Wait,
listen,
what year was this?
this is probably 99, 2001, something like that.
Oh,
It's later days.
that's a dick move. If you're at that point in your, because I realize that if he was like in, even in the years of trash, maybe
Yeah.
I could see he was a big deal. But
No,
99.
he didn't even look. He basically had a stamp and it was like, next.
Oh.
Whereas speaking of They Live, when I met Roddy Piper the first time, here's something interesting. He was such a gentleman. He was drunk too, by the way. He was drunk, and he spoke to me, and I was talking to him about it. And I hand to God, I ain't lying about this shit. We were talking and stuff like that. The next year, I went to see him in Scarborough, Ontario. He stopped me. He's like, "I remember you." And he goes, "You still doing them drawings?" And because I talked to him about his book that he wrote about him and Rick Martel, the wrestler, and how he crashed Rick Martel's Ferrari and shit like that. And he was shocked that I read his book.
Mm-hmm.
The security was trying to rush me, and they're like, "Okay, next, next, next." And he's like, "No," he's like, "He's a friend of mine." And I was like, I almost fucking cried because Roddy Piper is one of my idols. And I said to him, I was like, "Mr. Piper," I was like, "if I ever have children, if I have a daughter, I will name her after you." And he laughed. He's like, he grabbed my face. He's like, "You're a good kid. You're a good kid, brother." And he's drunk, right? I kept my word. My daughter's name is
Yeah, yeah,
Piper. And when Roddy died, it just killed me. It just killed me because he's one of the greatest
yeah,
like
yeah.
mouthpieces and showmen. You know what I mean? And I know you're not a big wrestling guy, but
No, but I'm a fan of his because of They Live, because
mm,
it's so that my story about that movie was, I remember my older brother and I, one night, he's like, "Let's go see a movie." And there were two movies that we were debating on going to see that came out the same weekend, I believe. One was Alien Nation, and then the other one was They Live.
oh shit. Okay, right on.
And I just remember my brother saying to me, "Well, They Live, it's John Carpenter. That's the guy that did like Big Trouble." I'm like, "Stop there. We're going to that movie." And
Yeah.
so we went to go see it in the theater, and I just remember like leaving that movie being I had such a good time, and I don't even know if that was a good movie or not. so
It's a
so
great movie.
I've adored it ever since. But his performance in it is like one of those things where I almost feel like nobody else could have done that role. Like, I feel like he's oddly the perfect person to play that part in that movie.
And the fact that he's not even named in that movie. He doesn't even have a name. At the end credits, his name is Nada, which is
Oh,
zero.
I didn't even know that.
He's like the ass end of the American dream at
Yeah.
that point. And it's funny because I didn't realize this. I was watching. What was I watching? Something. I think it was a Pervert's Guide to Ideology. It was just like highbrow documentary. And he says the aliens. He said, which we all know represent Republicans because Carpenter was that guy. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the aliens are red, white, and blue. The coloring. It's like I was like, oh Jesus
Oh,
Christ! Like
yeah.
there's a lot going on in that film, like and like Reaganism. I don't want to be like heady right now or highbrow because that I don't want to ruin my image. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of shit going on in They Live that's pretty perfect. Look at all these people talking, man. Look at like, you talk about John Carpenter and everyone gets a goddamn grade 7 boner.
This is a good, like, BTW, when they made Masters of the Universe movie, Piper was the perfect guy to play He-Man. I don't think that you're necessarily wrong. They just needed to make a better movie when they made that movie. It has nothing to do with who played He-Man, because at that point I was all like a big fan of Rocky 4, so I'm just like, yeah, put Drago as the He-Man. I'm cool with that.
Look at these, man, people. Freddy, Eric, I didn't read what you were saying earlier, but you said Freddy's Dead Part 6. I saw
Well,
that
that's
in the
this.
movie
It's this.
theater. I,
I did too.
I got dumped outside of Freddy's Dead next to the casino
Oh,
arcade.
You got, how? So your experience with that movie was ruined, and I hate whoever that girl was.
No, she was way too much of a woman for me. No, okay. So where were you in '91? Like, I don't want to talk locker room talk, but I can guarantee you, I was not fucking Midnight Cowboy in fucking '91. This girl was already on her
No.
second child. All right.
Oh
And
How?
she
Wait,
was
how old was she?
she was my age in '91. Okay.
So you
But
and
she
you're
liked,
so in '91 you were so like you're 13,
no, I'm probably 14,
14,
15.
14.
Yeah. I was almost 15. And so Freddie's Dead is coming out. I can't believe I'm even talking about this. And she, like, I was just starting to, I knew I liked girls, but I wasn't ready
Yeah,
for that level of sexuality at that point. Now, there's people here now that are like, oh man, I was like drowning in it. And fuck, when I was 15, I wasn't.
I
So
wasn't either.
this chick just pinned me against the wall of the casino arcade and shoved her tongue down my throat. And I'm like, oh God, oh God. I liked it, but I wasn't ready
Yeah,
for it.
no.
And I was like, hey, I'm going to go to the Freddy movie. And she was like, but man, my friends are going to Kings and Queens, which was another teenage hangout. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to see Freddy. She's like, you pick. It's either me or that goddamn movie. And I'm like, but it's Freddy in 3D. She's like, pick. And I'm like,
And not only that, it almost felt interactive because there's that part where like they put the glasses on and then you put them on at the same time, and then the movie becomes through. And not only that, not to get on, I'm interrupting your story, but I was such a fan of that movie because not only did they do that, but there was that really cool part where they rip out the dude's hearing aid, and all of a sudden the sound all cuts out, and I was just like, this movie does it all. Like it fucks with all of your senses.
not only that, a killer. Fuck you, anyone who's going to make fun of you right now. A killer Goo Goo Dolls song. A killer.
I love the Goo Goo Dolls. Well, I don't know about later Goo Goo Dolls, but I'll go with this up to a certain point.
I'll go post Metal Blade Goo Goo Dolls.
Well, I like the one with Name on it. What was that? That was the big
Sure.
hit off of that song.
No problem.
I like that.
No problem, man. Yeah. Look, I got no problems with that shit. But the Iggy Pop song on the end that had that like montage of all the Freddy films. Why Was I Born? Perfect. Eric Bauer,
Yeah.
thank you for bringing this up, baby.
Great movie, but I still think that number 4 is my favorite Freddy movie though.
My favorite Freddy movie. I mean, because part 6, Freddy's makeup is a goddamn like drugstore mask. It's terrible. It's really bad makeup. The makeup.
I got to go back and watch it again because I don't really remember it being super bad. But yeah,
my favorite Freddy film is the gay film, Elm Street 2.
Number 2, which I love that one.
That film has layers. Let me tell you, and the makeup is absolutely perfect, right? Absolutely perfect. You know, I'm actually starting to think. Someone earlier mentioned, and I'm sorry, I saw it there and I didn't address it because I'm too big now. I'm 508. What am I? 150,000 fans. So I'm too big to respond to everybody right now.
150,000. We did really good for you.
Yeah.
Have you gained more? Is the real question.
No, I bought some because I got to get 2,000 before Metal Theologian, and he's like, guys, listen, Metal Theologian, he's a dickhead, and he's really trying to hurt me. He's trying to hurt me.
Is he even still here?
He's lurking in the back.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Oh
okay.
shit, he's here. Fuck, he's a really good guy. Metal Theologian's awesome.
Also, we got Nicholas Fisher Part 3 for me, Doc and Dream Warriors. I mean, I can't argue with that. That is a really entertaining fucking movie.
Dream no more.
I just like in the video where Freddy wakes up, he's like, who were those guys?
Do you know a funny story about the set of that? Don Dockman was talking about it, and they said they did so much coke from Freddy's glove.
Like, was he wearing it at the time?
Oh, yes. They were on set.
Oh my god!
And
I'm sorry. This is if we hung out. This is what it'd be like. I'd keep interrupting you to ask you questions.
Sure.
I know that you've seen this movie, but I want to know your opinion of this movie because we're talking about Freddy. 976 Evil. Because it's hard to get through for me, and I like shitty movies, but it's pretty damn bad.
I like 967 Evil 2 better.
I've never fucking even seen that. Are you the kind of dude that's seen all of the Tremors sequels? Like you've seen them all?
You know, someone mentioned earlier. This is what I was going to say earlier. Someone mentioned my other show before I did Chromium Dioxide, which was Life After Late Fees, which I really recommend you check out because me and Corey really put our heart and soul into that show. And I'm starting to think that like we need to bring it back, but I'm starting to think that maybe we should get you on the show because you say you don't know a lot about movies, but I think you could survive.
It's only up to a certain point though, because I was the kid up until about the mid '90s that I would watch anything that I could watch, and I had a brother that worked at a video store. I had a movie theater walking distance from my house. A dollar theater at one point, so I would just go see whatever the fuck was there. And so like there's a period of movies that I know a lot about, but I never like talking about movies because I understand what goes into making movies, and I could look at a scene in a movie and I understand good cinematography, but do I care for the most part? I don't care about that kind of shit. I'm more of just about weird, quirky things that make me enjoy a movie. And so I always feel like, who the fuck am I to talk about movies? Because one of my favorite movies is Encino Man. So if you want to like, really get into it.
Are you going to talk about Vince Neil right now? Do you know when I met Steve Stevens?
We just did Billy Idol. Did you listen to Billy Idol on Cranked and Ranked?
Fucking right. Did you buy his single?
Who, Billy Idol?
Yeah, his new one.
Do you mean his EP that he put out, right?
Hey, well, yeah, okay, yeah, his EP.
You need to go listen to the episode because I come to the conclusion that I'm only a greatest hits Billy Idol fan.
Not me.
So.
Not me, sir. My favorite Billy Idol song is "Hole in the Wall" from his first album. That's how hardcore I am.
My favorite Billy Idol song is "Eyes Without a Face."
Oh, I do like that, and I love how they do the percussion on the girls' asses on the video.
That's how they did it in the studio. Did you know that?
They had. I have no. You're not, because that probably was true.
Yeah.
Do you know when? I don't know if people know this about Billy Idol, but here's some links to Billy Idol to Iron Maiden. You know the Women in Uniform video? Iron Maiden?
By Iron Maiden? Yeah.
Okay. You know the dyed redhead? What's her name? Perry something or Gelbin? It sounds like something like that.
I don't know the video that well, so no.
Yeah, anyways, Billy was married to her. And Billy was a bad boy. This Mr. Michael, what is it? Broad? That's his real name? Yeah. Anyways, he promised her he was never going to cheat on her again. And so they got counseling and shit like that. But then he decided to like fool around. So he went up to his baby's room and called his mistress. And his wife was having a party down below with a baby monitor and heard the fucking...
Oh my God.
Yeah. Billy's awesome. And that new single is so good. That is such a good Billy Idol song.
This is I had to bring up this comment here. Unsound Rob, Singles is a favorite movie of mine, and he does the laughter at the end, but I really like that movie.
Well, that's why you and I are.
I thought it was funny that's what really was fucking up the BBQutioner in that episode.
You have no idea. Like, that is based on real life. Because I don't want to be a broken record, and the alcohol is really starting to take over. I
can hear it, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
I don't care. I'm not even ashamed of it, man.
You know what? So what? So what? I'm drunk. So what?
So what? I have ruined so many Christmas parties and family gatherings from my alcoholism. It doesn't bother me. I am immune. So the fact that I'm live right now. Don't matter.
Tonight, nothing matters. We're rock stars tonight.
I didn't even use doesn't matter. I said don't matter.
Don't matter.
Don't matter.
It's okay. When you're a rock and roll fan, you can use incorrect English all the time because that's what rock songwriters do all the time.
Artistic license. Night in the Rut,
exactly.
baby. Night in the Rut. Do you know what I was earlier? We were talking about that.
Singles. We were talking about singles.
Oh yeah, fuck. I'm getting on a fucking tangent here right now.
I know. This is why this is perfect. This is better than I imagined this would be going because this is way more entertaining.
Eddie Sparks, you've got some competition, baby. I'm gonna take over, and you're done. You're fucking done. You're yesterday's.
Eddie Sparks is almost like the son that I never had. Yeah. Like, he and I are like really, I feel like we're really great friends, but I almost feel like it's, if I had a kid and he all of a sudden became 23, I feel like I would be, friends. We'd be buddies. We'd be drinking buddies together,
It's one of my favorite episodes that we did that I've done like for the show.
Wow. Thank you.
That's awesome. Loved doing that. The Thrash episode was fantastic. But we were talking about singles.
Even though apparently we brought up a whole bunch of pedestrian thrash albums, but okay.
Oh, we got ripped apart, hey? You didn't just... It wasn't just you.
I'm not cool.
I'm not cool either. Like, Marty Worm, who I pay on a regular basis to promote my show, even he fucking tore me apart. He owes me about $17 because that was bullshit, man. That was garbage how he treated me. What did he want? Guys, before you fucking say anything, before I get into the singles rant, I've drank this whole bottle of fucking Red Label, and I'm on my fucking...
Oh, so you're doing hard stuff, too.
Dude, what'd you fucking think Red Label was? Did you think that this was goddamn vitamin ale? Like, goddamn...
I don't... Do here's why this is fun, because almost all of my life, here's the scenario that usually happens. Hey man, we're gonna go out and party night. Cool. And then I end up getting like drunk and the other person's like, I'm not really feeling it. And so it's always me being drunker than whoever I'm with. So
one thing I can promise you, that when we do actually meet in real life, I give you my word, medical conditions notwithstanding, I will be the drunkest person in North America.
That sounds awesome. I will pay for your flight here, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. With all that.
Also, I gotta call out Toaster Knuckles, 4-Stroke Baron, contender for album of the year for me. By the way, just gonna.
He's talking about Billy Idol's album.
No, he's talking about the band 4-Stroke Baron.
What the fuck is that?
All right, hold on. Because when I tell you about this band, then it's going to bring me to another record I wanted to talk about. So fuck talking about singles. You don't like it, I understand. But 4-Stroke Baron is, imagine a progressive metal band fronted by Roland Ozerbal from Tears for Fears.
Oh, whoa. Now, okay, I was ready to fucking take a piss shit on your world right now. But you just brought up a name that means the world to me. The first cassette I bought out of my own money.
I was obsessed with this album when it came out. And still am. It's genius.
If we were going to get into an arm wrestling contest right now of who liked that album more, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, my arms are basically spaghetti, so you would win. So, I mean...
No, I don't know. I got strong legs, but I got weak wrists.
The real question is, did you pre-order their new album? Because I did, and it's going to be fucking fantastic. They have a new album coming out.
Trumped again.
They have a new album coming out with like they're back together. They've been back together for a few years now.
Those guys fucking... It's ridiculous, man. Those guys... Why don't they just... They should just get married. They should just go to San Francisco and get married. It's ridiculous because
they're musically married, but I mean, like I had to bring this up because this band, I've been a big fan forever, but they announced their new album and the first single off of it, I'm like, how is it that they're still doing shit this good, like this many years later? And so it brought me back into the wormhole of being like, man, I love everything Tears for Fears.
Everything, like even the song "Women in Chains." I love everything by
That's on
Tears.
Seeds of Love, which is a fucking great album.
Oh, that's a great album.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I heard the band was no, actually, Real Genius. Do you remember the movie with Val Kilmer?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the second time I heard them. The first time I heard them was on a cartoon on NBC called Kid Video. I don't know if you remember that. Kid Video was like it wasn't a precursor to MTV, but it was around that era. It was an animation series, and they played "Everybody Wants to Rule the World," and I think that's when I started to realize that I loved hard rock. Because when Everybody Wants to Rule the World, when everything breaks down, it's like there's a room where the light, and it gets heavy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was like, that was my favorite part, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I like heavy shit, right?
Yeah, it's weird because my introduction to them was I had a neighbor kid that lived like two houses down from me, and he was singing the lyrics to "Shout," and I remember thinking to myself, that's not a real song. Like the lyrics are, come on, I'm talking to you. Like, that's not a real song. And he went, it is. And he had the cassette and he played it, and I'm all like, this song's amazing. And I was boom. And I've been a fan ever since.
Head Over Heels.
That's one of my favorites.
With that blonde, that librarian. And I was like, yeah, don't be racist, dude. Yeah, I remember that blonde librarian as a kid, and I wanted to go see Return of the Living Dead it was '85, and that song was number one, and Return of the Living Dead was the movie in the theater, and I wasn't allowed to go see it, but I was allowed to get that album.
Yeah, I had that one. Yeah, it's weird because like I didn't get to see movies like Return of the Living Dead, but my parents, because they didn't want to leave me at home, took me to all sorts of movies that I shouldn't have seen. So but they were mostly movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone or Eddie Murphy. So I got to see like fucking Rambo 3 and Commando and all of these movies in the theater just because my parents didn't want to get a babysitter.
Dedicated to the fighting spirit of the Taliban.
But and man, speaking of that, God damn it! It's so funny that like I'm the music channel guy, but we get together and you mention things. I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this movie or this film director. We really should do a movie thing.
I'm telling you,
because my brain went. Here's how it happened. It's the beer too. My brain went Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then I went, oh, I remember when I saw Total Recall in the theater and I fucking loved it. And then I went, let's talk about Paul Verhoeven.
Oh, shit. Oh, man, that guy is... that's the first time I looked up the word sardonic. I didn't know what it meant in a review. And I'm like, what's sardonic mean? Oh, shit, that's right. That is sardonic.
Because he did like several fucking great movies in a row. And I'm throwing Showgirls in there too. I mean, it's not.
I was just gonna say, if you like do not include Showgirls, you're wrong.
Do you know what I have to say though? That this is probably sacrilegious to Paul Verhoeven fans. I'm not really big on Starship Troopers.
No, I am not either. No, I'm not. I'm not kissing her ass either. I am. I hated those actors, even though. Like Casper Van Dien, but he was right, and we're wrong. We're wrong, by the way. No, I'm telling you, we are wrong. But when that movie came out, it rubbed me the wrong way. It was all these like hotshot. It was basically 21 Jump Street for that
or Beverly Hills 90210 or whatever.
Exactly, but that's what it needed to be. But I
guess you're right. I see that. Yeah, it makes sense. But I really.
And he took shitty actors, like Go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
like,
I'm cutting you off. It's the
no,
booze.
no,
I'm
you're
sorry.
not. This
I'm
no,
sorry.
we're cutting each other off. Now we're not even talking about music, and people are commenting things, and I'm not even reading them, and so I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, guys.
Let me address this really quick. Cynic's Ascension Codes is simply it's a great album. I'll be reviewing that on the next episode of Old Bollocks. Cynic's still fucking killing it. Marty Worm, my wife has all the Tears for Fears albums. They're all pretty much great albums. I agree. Absolutely. What is this right here? People do really long comments, and I'm just like, what are they talking about? Oh, we're talking about Halloween?
Water Dive 122. You have shit on Killing Is My Business in your own way. You've never said it was a bad album, but you said Rust in Peace was better. Now, my brother from another uncle is attacking him.
Look at this.
Do you see my brain delay? You see that brain
delay? Echoes of Castillo records.
Listen, my brain is shutting down. Is this what Alzheimer's is?
Yeah.
As we sleepwalk off to work, as our nervous systems jerk.
Your British accent sounds much better than his.
Oh, I can't do a British accent. You know, my Scottish accent is the worst. Do you have any Scottish friends?
No. I've got you and now 2 British friends, which is Howard from Acid Rain and Eddie Sparks. I'm not kidding. Like, I really don't have friends. Like, that was a big reason why I started the podcast and the channel, is because I like to talk about music, but I'm especially now that I moved away from my hometown, but like I just wasn't good at like hanging with people.
Oh, well.
So I'm just like,
you're going to hang out with me because I'm River Phoenix hanging out at the Viper Room. I am like,
can I be Keanu Reeves?
Oh yeah, I'm going to like lead you into, because the VC doesn't really like me either. The vinyl community, for those of you who don't know, but I got the Metal Theologian guys, the Marty Worms, the Eric Bowers, the CHROMIUM Record Night crew.
I don't even think. See, the thing is, here's the thing. They all probably look at someone like me, like, oh, this dude with his 10,000 subscribers. But I look at like Grown Man Record Night, and in a lot of these channels, like I haven't watched a lot because I don't watch a lot on YouTube. I watch random videos here and there. But like, if you're all still in the fucking like Marty Worm, like, you know, like Metal Theologian, what does anyone give a shit about me? That's all I want to know.
No, no, because you are the letterbox version of Terminator 2.
That sounds like a compliment. Am I the director's cut also?
Oh, sure. Oh no, you're definitely. But us guys
I'm the Laserdisc version of Terminator 2.
You know, we're the Bad News Bears. Like, you know, we're just hanging out, and I
love that movie. I don't know, fucking man.
Bad News Bears or Terminator 2?
Both. But
I've got all the trading cards from Terminator 2.
Man, Terminator 2, you're my age, so I'm pretty sure that movie felt the same way to you that it did to me. Where like I walked out of the theater and my mind was completely blown. Like I'm just like, are they ever going to make a better movie than this movie?
In Canada, we had A&A Records, and I walked into this franchise, and this is how green I was, man. I walked in and asked, I was like, do you guys have the single for You Could Be My Yine? You could be my yine.
That's adorable.
What?
Because you're way out of line. Come on, man. So Marty Worm says, this is the first I've ever seen you, man. I came for Phil and threw you a sub. Thank you, sir. I have really shitty taste, but I'm a nice person.
No, you don't have shitty taste. Actually, no, you've got me into like some like newer stuff, so it actually made me a better person. But I'll tell you something you're wrong about, and I'm going to correct it. And I mentioned it earlier, but I feel that it's something that you're just going to like just pass over, glaze over.
You know what? One of the things I enjoy more than anything is learning to love something that I previously didn't like. That makes me very happy. So if you got something like that, bring it my way.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I have that. But I have my opinion, and I, you know, I'm a metal dude, right? We've talked rap tonight. We've even rapped.
You did do some rapping. I did not. I did not do any rapping.
You did some. You did in your own way.
1, 2, 3 into the foe. I'll do that.
Yeah, my name is and I'm here to say. But I will say that the perfect heavy metal song, and I want it for those who haven't been taking notes, is Exciter, Evil.
Oh,
like Evil Sinner.
You said that. I need to actually listen to that song. But you mean when you say heavy metal, like you just mean like heavy metal as in because there's subgenres and all shit. So you're saying that as just the basic genre, heavy metal, that's the best.
There's no subgenres. There is no subgenre.
All right.
In fact,
I'll check it out.
I'm at the point where I'm like, at some point in a future episode, I want to do a reaction video with you, and I want you to be honest.
Okay.
I'm just going to listen to it, and it's, oh my God, this is poetry. This is Tennyson.
See, here's the thing that would be perfect. Which I guess we could do it like this too, but I'd be worried about copyrights. If we could somehow literally just play each other's songs and react to them, that would be an enjoyable series of videos, I would say.
Can't we create a dummy page?
What do you mean?
Just page? Like a fake page. It's like we can afford to get 3 copyright strikes.
Well, no, the point is the video disappears when you get those strikes. Like nobody can see it.
Is this how this shit works?
Yeah. So here's what happens with Old Headbangers Ball. Like before I ever do an episode of Old Headbangers Ball, I take about 10 videos that I want to play, and I literally just upload those with nothing else to YouTube. And then YouTube tells me which videos are the ones that I can't play. And then I make my episode off of that. And it's a lot. You'd be surprised the number of videos that particular label or band doesn't want money. Because the money goes to them. That's the fucking stupid thing. The money goes to them. But they won't allow me to play shit. But whatever. Anyway.
Hold on a second. It's 11:21 my time. What is that? 9:21 your time?
Yeah, it's still early. But you are 11:21 drunk right now. I'm 9:21 drunk.
I am just getting started, baby.
Oh, all right.
I've got kindling on the go. I'm gonna light a fire, motherfucker.
This is getting good. You're welcome, everybody.
Oh my God! Do you realize? Hey, everyone, and I don't want to lie to you guys because I know America hates a successful Canadian.
No, we don't.
Oh, you do, because you guys were all Stone Cold Steve Austin when I was Bret Hart. Fuck you. And this is my Bret Hart moment right now, because I am at. Watch this. It's blurry. That's the font I chose.
What does it say? How many subscribers are you at?
1,512.
How much of a rise is that from earlier?
I don't know, maybe 9 or 10. I am ablaze.
You're welcome. I brought 9 people over here. Everybody subscribe to Chromium Dioxide. I can't say it enough that it blows my mind that you're not already way above me.
Because let me tell you something. You were just showing your wads of cash with your fucking new Carcass Dinner Plate album. Dudes like me. Yeah, I know. I see it up there in the fucking corner. Dudes like me, we can just get the look right here, we got Wayne Campbell, played by Canada's own Mike Myers. And it's like, where's Eddie? Eddie's in the basement. Because Eddie is doing like retrospectives on Toto. You've got to slap that child. What is he doing? Eddie. Toto?
Hey, he made me a semi Toto fan, early Toto anyway.
Look.
He's also young. You got to give him some time.
I'm not saying that. But Eddie is a comic genius. When he was doing his Vietnam videos, That's where Eddie shined. Did you
His
see
Vietnam videos.
You didn't
What?
see that?
No, Vietnam videos.
Oh, he had somebody who was in a public bathroom with Vietnam flashbacks. It was hilarious.
I literally don't remember that at all.
That might have been Eric Bauer.
I don't think it was Eddie Sparks.
It was,
but I agree. But I agree that Eddie Sparks is a comic genius, because that was the reason why. Like, it was the same thing as with you. Like, he actually reached out to me, and I didn't know who he was, and I saw his videos, and I'm just like, this dude's fucking hilarious.
He is.
So,
and his numbers do not represent what his show is worth.
It's just because he's very critical of the shit he does. Like, he is a guy that musically is also very talented, and he constantly sends me clips of songs he's working on. I'm all like, when are these going to come out? He probably has hundreds of songs, and he's just like, I don't know, they're not ready yet. so I feel like he gets that way with videos too, where he's just like, fuck it, it's not good enough. So I'm just glad he's continuing to do shit with me, because I have a blast doing Cranked and Ranked with him. But I mean, to be completely honest, like if I ever came to a point in my YouTube career where I had Cranked and Ranked, now I'm doing Old Bollocks with Howard from Acid Rain.
You are such a slut, by the way.
If I had a show with you, I would quit every other thing that I did on YouTube. It would just be those shows.
I know, because I'm like, I just gained 8 subscribers, so it's big time.
I have more subscribers than the Acid Rain page does, that I think.
Yeah.
So anyway,
well, that's the thing.
Can we be good hosts? Rob.
Let's just be good hosts.
Eddie Sparks was on Jimmy Fallon. He was on Jimmy Fallon.
What?
Eddie Sparks was on Jimmy Fallon.
Fuck you.
Seriously, it's on YouTube. They do this thing where like people on the internet do stupid. It's like a ripoff of David Letterman's Stupid Human Tricks. I'm saying this to you like you know David Letterman because you lived in Canada, but still.
Dude, are you fucking serious? You think I don't know Dave Letterman?
I don't know what gets shown over there. It was an American thing. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, I know who Dave Letterman is. If I know who Bobcat Goldthwait is, I know who Dave Letterman is. I
mean, I barely know what Degrassi Junior High was. So, I mean, it's
God damn. What we have here is failure to communicate.
Anyway, so where was I going with that? I don't know. Yeah, he literally. He was on Jimmy Fallon, and he literally does like a kazoo with his mouth. Like he does like, I think he does the Axel F theme from Beverly Hills Cop with his mouth. You keep yawning, and that makes me want to tell you need to go to Betty Bye.
No, I'm not. I'm just I got to do some heroin. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. This is
Was I yawning? Because I know I was up at 5 this morning. Do you realize this podcast is like 2 hours and 20? This is like a wrestling pay-per-view.
It's like the pay-per-view that Metallica is doing right now that people are watching.
I love how we're getting better ratings.
Then what?
Metallica's. I'm looking at it in the bottom screen right here, and we're actually beating Metallica.
Oh, that would be awesome.
No, it would not, because my mother would be so mad with me right now.
Just wait for my next show where I do music reviews with Lars Ulrich, because that would be.
Oh, can you imagine?
That would be a dream of mine. Actually, I would love to. Chat.
I love Lars. He's like one of my favorite guys in Metallica.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. But it would be even worse. Can you imagine trying to do anything with Lars? You would never get to talk.
The guy that I would. Oh, I know. It's like, But the guy I love the most is probably Kirk Hammett, which is the guy I'm supposed to want to kill.
Why?
Are you serious?
But don't look at me that way.
I will. I fucking turned you to stone with my Clash of the Titan.
What did Kirk do? I don't know why you're supposed to hate Kirk.
What? What did Kirk do?
He nothing. Do you tell me what he did?
Answer the question. What did Kirk do?
Answer the question, Claire. All right. Is somebody going to answer the question?
Tried to replace and he never did it.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
He did. He did. He did. I'm not saying he's a better guitar player than Dave Mustaine, but Dave Mustaine would have never done the solo on Blackened, and it's one of my favorite solos ever done by anybody. So,
what's your favorite song from? Is Blackened your favorite song from the Black Album?
That's on And Justice for All.
Oh no, sorry. Oh God, alcohol, you bastards. Through the Never is why
It's a great song.
I'm fucking loaded right now, man. Dude, I'm fucking loaded.
This is gonna be the kind of thing where I start throwing it out to the crowd. Like, do we cut it off here in a few minutes so Philip Phil can go catch some Z's?
No, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna try. I'm really trying, guys. But I got a lot of editing tomorrow. I have.
Well, you know what? We'll wrap this up fairly soon. Okay. Let's do that.
I just want. I'm not done making an ass of myself yet.
But Kirk is great. Metal God says, could it be Kirk's wah wah? Like, nobody plays a wah better than Kirk Hammett. Come on, man. What are you talking about?
I know everyone talks about wah wah, but I hear more diddly dee.
It's him and Heavy D that do all the diddly D's.
Diddly 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 dee. And yeah.
No, my favorite. Are you trying to say that Through the Never is a good song? Is that what you're trying to say on the Black Album?
It's one of my favorite Metallica songs.
Yeah, I don't really know. My favorite Metallica song on Black Album is I don't really know. Maybe Wherever I May Roam. I really like that one a lot. I don't know. It's really hard to. It changes all the time.
That album never bothered me like it bothers most people. I thought it was great because we are 91, 92 kids.
Yeah.
And it's I don't understand why everyone hated it so much. Yeah, it was different. I hate it and Justice for All. I hate it and Justice for All.
That blows me away.
I hated it.
That album is like a stepping stone of me getting into more progressive music, really. Because I mean, when I didn't listen to anything like that at the time, so
dreadful. And you know that, like, and I know you have it because I watched your video. That VHS box set of the Road Case. Right. Yeah, exactly, right there on a pedestal. God damn, it does not deserve pedestal level. Okay,
it absolutely does.
But the live concert from Justice for All deserves a pedestal.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that was VHS 2, I do believe. If memory serves me correctly. The VHS 2 had the actual where the Scales of Justice collapse on stage and shit like that.
Well, there's three VHSs in that. The first one is just the Justice Tour, and then the second two are like a 1993 concert from the Black Album where they were fucking firing on all cylinders. They were great.
I remember when I got that for Christmas morning, I was so mad with my parents. I was like, "You're not listening to me. I'm a Megadeth fan."
but you know what? Megadeth didn't care about their fans, and still don't, because did they ever put out a cool box set? Not really. So.
Yeah, what was that? What's the coolest Megadeth box set they ever put? What was that one that the bombs dropping on it or something? I don't know.
Hold on. I want to point out, like, Metal Theologian, like what I've seen of you, you seem like a good guy.
No, he's not. He's a bad guy.
Is the dumbest. That when people call Black Album anything, when they say it's a pop record, I'm like, we get it. You're very cool. You're really into metal. We get it.
Old head, you're not ready for this. No. You have basically, right at this point with that comment, lit black candles in a circle around you. Oh, Jesus Christ. And you invited Paul Stanley and a bunch of hookers over to your house with coke.
And he's going to be like, what?
Not even that, which was impressive. That was awesome.
His hands were on fire.
Yeah, what you did that time was I almost cried. That was gorgeous. But he is on a Neil Turbin level, subjugator. Okay. Like no, man.
I'm glad that we agree that Neil Turbin sounds like Paul Stanley.
No, well, Neil Turbin is one of my idols. You know what I love about Neil Turbin the most? Excuse me for 1 second. On the photos, Neil Turbin, he did this, which is such a classic, like old school.
Oh, he put his thumbs into his pants.
Yes. Thumbs in pants is the most metal thing I can think of.
To me, it's the universal symbol for I'm not fat. Because I would never do a picture like that because it's just a fucking gut. So it'd be a really weird, odd picture for me to take. So fuck that guy for being skinny. So there you go.
Neil Turbin is the greatest Anthrax singer of all time.
Okay, I'll let you get away with that because you're obviously very drunk. But
Listen to me. Before you cut me off on this show,
I'm gonna finish this last beer. You have a little bit. You have.
God damn, I'm Canadian, brother. I got a fridge full of fucking wizards.
Do you have a box of 10 bits in your house somewhere?
Do you know America stole Tim Hortons from us?
I've never been to a Tim Hortons. I wish they had one near here. I've heard that they have excellent donuts and coffee.
No, they don't. Dunkin' Donuts is way better.
Oh, I love Dunkin' Donuts, so it's good to know that America got it right.
You beat them.
Well, I've heard good things about Tim Hortons. Here's a Canadian question and something that I've never had. Is poutine good?
Oh, that's something I can send you across the border, like the powder pack. Are you serious?
Yeah, I've never had it. I know vaguely what it is.
That's my
but
French.
I've never had it.
That's my French roots. We are really into that. And speaking of Thanksgiving, have you ever heard of a seasoning called what is it? Savory?
I mean, maybe, but I'm not.
You guys stuff your turkeys with apples and shit? Like
no.
What do you guys?
Also, I don't really like turkey very much. So I mean,
all right. Well, Canadians have a lot of different things, but Newfoundlanders have savory, which is a very interesting herb, which we mix with a lot of different things. So I am going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to send you some savory with a recipe. And what was the thing we were talking about before? Because my brain is
poutine.
Oh yeah. Okay, so dude, we have got to shut this down. I am fucking dying here right now because I'm starting to have visions of myself talking. That's how much drink I've drank tonight.
Well, can I literally have one record left that I wanted to show tonight. I'm gonna get that out of the way and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, but before we say that, people, thank you so much for watching this show. I really appreciate it. And for the 9 people that subscribe to my show, yes, fuck this metal theologian guy.
I love this so much. We're doing this again very soon. This isn't going to be a 10,000 subscriber thing. It's going to be, I feel like drinking with the BBQutioner. And so we're just going to fucking talk about whatever. But my last Giving Thanks album, an album that's been very important to me this year. I've loved this album since I was a kid, and it's somehow come back around to me as one of the most perfect pop albums ever made. Pop, folks. It's still a little bit rock. Play Deep by The Outfield. This album is fucking amazing. Why are you laughing? I love this album.
Just on a vacation for
one of the most perfect songs ever made. That right there. This album is amazing, and that's my last Giving Thanks because it's. I love The Outfield, and I love and 2/3 of them are dead. Now here's the cool shit. Marty Worm, where are you? Do you feel better now that we're talking about killing is my business? You know what? It's like it's about time that you talked about some Megadeth because he wrote all the Metallica songs. Did you know that Cliff Burton and Dave Mustaine wrote every Metallica song up until And Justice for All? And it's just been a big conspiracy. Nobody wanted to tell you that. That's why they sucked after all of that.
You know what I just realized right now, and I'm really disgusted with myself. I am not cool anymore. I thought it was hot shit.
Here you're cool.
Oh, God, no, I'm not. I've lost all my credentials.
What happened? Why? Show me.
My favorite album of all time, is Eurotrash. I own it on Music for Nations.
My copy is Music for Nations also. So yeah.
I don't own Combat.
You know, to be fair, are you willing to put forth the $500+ for a Combat version of it
for the price of 17 coffees a day? If you can afford a copy of coffee, send me it if you can do it, because I can't afford your Yankee Blue Jeans dollars. Please.
Fuck your Yankee Blue Jeans.
Oh God, no! This is embarrassing. Music for Nation. I didn't know I had a Music for Nations copy of my.
What's wrong with
album.
Music for Nations? They were a very good label.
Just go listen to Pangarati or whatever the fuck you like. What was that album that you like? That Panzerati?
Panzerati? What?
Fugazi?
Let's not talk shit about Fugazi. I don't know. I'm gonna school you on. I'm gonna get into. Go listen to some Fugazi.
No.
When you wake up tomorrow, listen to Fugazi.
No, why don't you wake up tomorrow and send me a Combat copy of Panzerati? Hey everyone, if you know someone who's struggling with alcoholism, talk to them. Cut it off, man.
All right.
I'm embarrassed.
All right. I'm wrapping it up. So
Hold on.
Thank you.
Wait, one second.
I can't wrap it up if you keep stopping me.
Can I just say something? If you're good looking, even though I'm married, I'm happily married, and I love my wife and my children. But if you want to cyber,
I hate to break it to you, but I think it's only dudes in the chat here.
I'll take what I can get right now.
I don't know if you go to my YouTube analytics, and it's like 99.9% male. And then the 0.1% is my wife. It's my wife.
Oh, she's the one that's looking at my show too, because my wife don't.
Probably, yeah.
Oh man.
All right. Just I'm gonna let Phil go to sleep. And thank you all for watching and celebrating my 10,000 subscribers. We're going to do this again soon because it was fucking fun. And thank you, Philip, for joining me.
I love you, Mama.
It was a pleasure, man. Absolute pleasure. Thank you all for being here. And we'll see you all again soon. And I'm going to end this thing. And everybody go to bed because it's too late. It's too late for love.
Fuck you, Eddie Sparks. He loves me better than you.
All right, I'm ending this. Good night, everybody.